minutes of football. 30 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 minutes of football.
Welcome everyone to Bare Their Souls. My name is Aldo Gandia, and alongside myself is Mr. Daniken. Daniken, last week we did a great job, I thought, and somebody in YouTube said, you should be more professional, Aldo, and introduce your guests. Who is this guy, Daniken? And I wrote back, Daniken is the man. And then he wrote back, no, I'm serious. Who is this guy? And so Daniken is the guy. Daniken, please tell people a little bit about yourself. This is your fourth or fifth show with us. And for those who haven't heard the news, who are you, Daniken?
Well, I mean, my name is Daniken. Dan Goodwin is my name, is my real name, but I go by Daniken, of course. Just glad to be here, man. I'm a Bears fan to the core. Always have been, always will be, right? No matter what, the ups, the downs, or whatever, we're there. And of course, we're doing this podcast here. We graciously you've invited me. I've accepted. I'm loving it. The vibe is nice. It's fun. It's a great show to be a part of. I also do another podcast that is called the Three Kings of the Midway podcast. We dropped that last night, actually. Okay. We had a podcast. It's on audio, of course, right now, but we're looking to get that into the video portion of it as well. So, hey, just a Bears fan, man, to the core. Grew up in Chicago, was born and raised there. I live in Atlanta, Georgia now. So for those who do not know me yet, hopefully you get to know me a little bit better.
That's right. We are really, really lucky to have Daniken be a part of the Barroom Network family, so to speak. And we learned of him from the Three Kings show. And then about 2-3 years ago, he was a guest on the Barfly Tailgate show. And then we had him on. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I got to see if this guy wants to work with us. Because I really like the vibe and the energy that you get out. Now, what we do every Bare Their Souls is Daniken has 5 takeaways from the game before. And so we'll go through them one by one. J2K, Aldo, Daniken, lots of people welcoming you. Nice hat, says Cliff Victoria. He's down in Florida. It's not too far from you. All right, so let's get to the first takeaway that you had about this game. What was the score? 31-14, right?
14? Yeah, 31-14.
Right. And the first takeaway was literally takeaways.
Takeaways, man.
Go for
takeaways. It. I mean, you look at the game and it's like, okay, the defense at the beginning of the game, in the first half, I was like, I was a little nervous because, they were kind of walking up and down the field and doing what they wanted to do a little bit, and we were struggling a little bit with some of the passing and. I know Jake Ferguson had like 14 catches for the entire game, but it was only for like 86 yards. So it's really, short stuff. But we got takeaways, man. And that's something that we weren't getting, last year. We weren't getting a lot of takeaways. We didn't get a lot of takeaways in the first 2 games. But that Tyreek Stevenson, when he ran up the sideline and just snatched the ball out of my man's hands, you know what I mean? That's an instinctual play. Most people are pushing somebody out of the bounds or just trying to get them down. But to run up and just snatch the ball, man, that was great. So you got that, and then of course we had the takeaways with Tremaine Edmonds getting a couple of interceptions, which was nice to see. He's being able to play that middle of the field and do things there. If we can do those things. And the reason I think takeaways are so important, right, in this game of football that we play now is because, you look around the league and everybody has a high potent offense. Everybody can move the ball up and down the field. Everybody has legit players on the offensive side of the ball. So when we're able to get takeaways, because you're not going to stop anybody. This is, the days of the 85 Bears or the 2006 Ravens or Bears back then. You know what I mean? With Julius Peppers and Brian Urlacher, those days are long gone, man. You're not
Yes.
holding people to 13 points a game. You're not holding them to 150 yards total offense. That's not happening, right? So you got to get takeaways. You got to be able to slow people down and create as many problems for them as possible so that they make mistakes during the course of the game. And that's what the Bears were able to do. I think they did a nice job of that. So getting takeaways, man, that's something that I want to see happen and continue to happen as the season progresses.
Yeah, I read something. I think it was in The Athletic that today's game has changed. Defensive coordinators are no longer saying that the number one priority is to stop the run. Throughout
Mhm.
the league, the number one priority is to stop explosive plays. And I think, Vic Fangio was one of the pioneers of that when he was defensive coordinator here in Chicago. And he started
Mhm.
having the defensive backfield play these umbrella coverages. I started noticing there's all these guys lined up at the goal line,
Yep.
and they just wanted everything to be passes and runs even to be in front of them and not behind them. So
Mhm.
so now takeaways, there's a special, even more special importance on that, particularly because they're getting rid of the ball so quickly, and quarterbacks it's very difficult to sack them because that ball
Mhm.
is out in 2 seconds. So I think that was a great way to start the show, that first takeaway. Quick question for you. What's your level of confidence that this defense can continue to build on the takeaways they had against the Dallas and their overall performance?
I think it's something that they can build upon. And the reason I say that is because you look at the schedule as what they have right now. You got the Raiders lined up in front of you, and then you have possible a bye week where you get maybe healthy, maybe Kyler Gordon comes back, maybe
Mm-hmm.
TJ Edwards comes back. That'll improve that, right? You got a bye week. So you got the Raiders, who are kind of like the lowly Raiders, in my opinion, right?
Yeah,
They're
I agree.
struggling as well. Then a bye week, and then you have Washington coming in. Now, Washington, they did put up 41 points against the Raiders, which speaks to my point that, hey, it's, you got back-to-back games where you can kind of, beat somebody up, in other words. But then you go to Washington, and there's a chance that Jaden Daniels is not playing in that game. So,
Mhm.
you have another situation where maybe, you stack up this win here in the Raiders. You mess around, have a bye week, a nice week of practice, come and play Washington. Then you got the Saints who are struggling as well. So you have an opportunity where guys can get confidence. Guys can start playing above what they're normally playing at. And
Mhm.
and once you start winning, it's contagious to where you want to have that feeling every single week, right?
Yep.
So that's my hope. That's my desire, is that they have that type of, you know, um what do you want to call it? Whatever, that's the feeling that they get from it. And then they kind of snowball that, and it just rolls downhill with some picking up steam, you might say.
Yeah, and I know we'll talk about this when the rest of the guys join us later in the show, but we need to talk about the veterans and guys like Grady Jarrett and
Hmm.
Kevin Byard, Montez Sweat. Are we getting the return on investment from those star players, star veteran players? They should be stars, and we'll get into that in depth. Let's move on to takeaway number 2 that you have, and I love this one because, of course, we talk about him every day here in Chicago, and that is QB1, Caleb Williams show trust in the offensive line. Take it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he was able to show a level of trust in the offensive line. Like he didn't look frantic in the backfield. When he dropped back to pass, it didn't look like he was trying to get out of dodge, you know what I mean? Or
Mm-hmm.
frantic, let me get rid of this ball. Let me, he was taking his time. It looked like he trusted what they were doing, and he got more comfortable as the game went on. And that's what I like to see. I mean, at the end of the day, you can only trust your offensive line. If you trust them, and then you can really just play football and not worry about the other things that may be, you know, creeping into your mind, or ghosts that you might be seeing and things like that on the football field. So I think it was real nice to see him be able to trust his offensive line, and really play that way. Really play just football. You know what I mean? And not
Mm-hmm.
really, he wasn't, you could tell he wasn't thinking too much. He was just playing the game of football.
Yep. And, the offensive line gave him reason to, for him to give them trust, because I thought they had a super game. And much maligned Braxton Jones, I know a lot of us have been down on him after 2 games. But, I took solace from Danny Shimon. I mentioned this last week, and Danny said, the guy's recuperating. And then Olin Kreutz on social media sent, he was a guest on WSCR, and he talked about, you want to bench Braxton, but who do you got? Who's better? He needs snaps to get in shape. So why are you going to take away snaps and bench him? And he was making a really solid case that we just have to be a little bit more patient. And I think Braxton did a good job this past week. What do you think about the performance of Darnell Wright? Because I know he's gotten some crap from some people.
Yeah, he played a better game, right? You wish he would play a little bit more cleaner. Just a little bit of a more clean game, and I think with time that will come. I think Darnell Wright is a really good player. I think he'll be fine where he's at. I trust in what he has going on for Wright, man. But you want him to clean up some of the penalties that he has, right? False starts, holding penalties, all those things that has to go away. We have to remedy that at some point in time. But like we said, you just have to be a little bit patient with the guys, let them grow, let them develop. That guy can play football, though. You know what I mean? And if you look at some of his numbers, he's one of the, he was near the top of the league in run blocking. He had some, a couple of situations, and like I said, we got to clean those things up. But that's what you do, and that's what a young player does, right? Especially on the offensive line. You're not going to come in there and be a finished product. Most of them are not. It takes a little while. And I think he's definitely got the talent, the size, the strength to do what he needs to do. He doesn't get pushed around. You don't see him getting manhandled. That's the biggest thing along the offensive line, because you can teach a guy to clean up some things. You can teach him to be more disciplined, but does he have the physicality? Does he have the mentality to not be pushed around, not be a big man that's just a marshmallow? You know what I mean? And that's not what he is. So, I can deal with trying to, guide him along in this maturation process, you might say.
Tooch is back stage. Tooch, I'll check it out now, and we'll see you in about 15, 20 minutes. All right. So my follow-up to that is a lot of people are saying, he gets a lot of penalties. Here's the deal. I have been checking on who leads the league in penalties now for years, because Charles Leno was always one of those guys who was having problems with penalties. But guess who else was among the leaders in the NFL for penalties? Laramie Tunsil, David Bakhtiari, some of the top offensive linemen. Why? Because they're seeing a lot of snaps. They don't come off the field for any reason, and so there's more. They're more susceptible to get penalties just by the law of averages, but also because great offensive linemen are going to commit penalties from time to time. One, to maybe preserve their quarterback. They got beat. I'm going to hold this guy or whatever. It's the mental mistakes. It's jumping off sides. It's those errors that have to stop. And he's had one or two of them this year, and hopefully that'll remedy itself real quick. All right,
that's a great point, man. That's a great point. Because if you get a holding penalty just to protect your quarterback, I'm fine with it. I'm good with it.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, this one, when I read this one, Danik, and I said, well, he's clearly not talking about me, this maturation thing, because I'm still like a 10-year-old. The maturation process is here for the Chicago Bears. Danik, and tell us more.
Yeah, I think you got to look at it and you got to see where the Bears are, right? And I'm speaking specifically for Caleb, in this regard, but it's for the entire offense, actually. The maturation process has begun. It's here. There is no more talking about it, is what I mean. You can see the work that's being put in, and you can see fruits of that, right? You can see some of some of the things that have gone and taken place and went in the right direction because of that. So you see this maturation process where, okay, now he's trusting his offensive line. The line is now doing this or doing that. And you see some things that are really taking off, and you can't deny it. You know what I mean? So we've talked about it. Oh, we want Caleb to do this. We want him to do that. We want him to be better here. We want him to do this. And then when you see it taking place, it's like, okay, maturation process. The growth is now happening. Let's see how this blossoms. Right? Is how big is this flower going to get? You know what I mean? That's what you want to look at. So that's what I mean by that maturation process.
And can it happen? Let's put up that schedule again. Again, I'm asking you to forecast, share your opinion on if this maturation process continues. At about what time are we of the season are we talking Super Bowl?
Man,
Giants.
Yeah, I'm looking Giants. I'm looking at the Giants, and I'm saying, okay, these are winnable games, man. The Raiders,
yes,
that's a winnable game. You're coming off of a bye week, and you play the Redskins or the Commanders, I should say, and that's a game where their quarterback may be injured. That's a winnable game. You got Spencer Rattler and the Saints coming in. They're not formidable in any way, shape, or form, in my opinion.
Right.
That's another winnable game. Then you have a tough one against the Baltimore Ravens, but it's at home, right? Or no, is that on the road? Yeah, that's on the road. That's on the road. Yeah. I'm sorry, right. That's on the road. So it is on the road. It's a game against Baltimore. That's going to be a tough one. But you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. Those four, and then week 9, week 10, the Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow, the Giants who have their own issues and problems. You're looking at a game where, to me, I think they should lose one of those games, and I think they should. The rest of those games are very, very winnable. So you're looking at a team that could be sitting at a point where they're 6 and 3 at that point, and you're thinking,
3.
okay, yeah, now we start thinking playoffs. Now we start thinking, okay, what's going on? And at that point in time, when you're stacking games like that, if they're able to do that, the confidence level shoots through the roof of a football team. Yep. And they get locked in, right? So when you're winning games, now I believe what the coach is talking about. Now I believe in Caleb Williams. Now I believe in this guy that's playing next to me. All of a sudden, the team starts coming together more and more and more. And that's when you see good things happening on a football team.
And, the difference between this year and other years is truly because of the people involved. When the Bears got off to the good start before things fell apart in Washington last year, there was still this feeling that it's Matt Eberflus, and it's this Shane Waldron guy and stuff. And so we were all hopeful, but we weren't as convinced that it could happen. Now because we have Ben Johnson, and now because we have the maturation process of Caleb Williams and other players and so forth, it is much more feasible, and acceptable for us to be feeling positive here in week 3 of the season, even though we're still under 500. All right, let's get on to the fourth one. It is attacking all areas of the field. Yeah, that was beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's one of my things, man. I'm really a stickler for when it comes to offenses, being able to attack every area of the football field. Go downfield, hit the seam route. You want crossing routes. You want out patterns. You want slants. You want guys hitting the flat. You want your tight end hit. All of these different areas of the football field, you want the defense to have to think and play all of those areas of the football field. And if you look at what the Bears were able to do, and Ben Johnson with his play calling, with Caleb Williams with where he was going with the ball, I mean, you're taking deep shots. You're hitting guys in the flat. You're hitting Cole Kmet in the seam. You're hitting DJ Moore in the back of the end zone. Like you're making them play the entire football field. And defenders, I'm just being honest, they don't want to think. You just want to play on instincts on the defense, right? You want to prepare, and what they do is they prepare for this guy. What are his tendencies? What is this, that, and the third? They lock in on those things, and then they can go out there and play with their hair on fire. But when you're doing different things and you're attacking different areas of the football field, now, oh man, now I got to think. Is this guy going to run past me? Is this a stop and go? Is it you know what I mean? Like what route are they running? Who's gonna get the ball? When you're utilizing all your weapons across the football field, it makes guys think, and that split second of thinking slows down a defense, and it slows them down, and it's much harder to chase somebody than to run away from them. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
that's why I'm just a stickler for that. I think they did a great job of that last week, and I want to
Mhm.
see them continue to do that. Just spread the ball around, attack everywhere on the football field, not just one area.
And the awesome thing is, I know we drafted some offensive players at the expense of strengthening the trenches, particularly the defensive line. Now, it looks like we could have used a high draft pick on that position. Although Shamar Turner was a high draft pick, so we just haven't seen him out there. But my point was going to be that we've got these weapons. Luther Burden. Oh my God. I mean, this guy could be a superstar in this league, in the Stephon Diggs type of guy, just very shifty, can get open with some clever route running. He's an outstanding blocker downfield, at least from an effort standpoint, he is. But what he does after he catches the ball, I mean, that's also very exciting about this team. You got Rome, who's the big body receiver. You got DJ Moore, who can do all sorts of things. Talk to me about DJ Moore and what your feelings are about him and how he's being utilized. Do you expect him to get more targets as the season goes on, or more touches?
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will get more touches. DJ Moore is a guy that really, you know, you got to get him the ball and let him go to work, right? Steve Smith said it best when he was talking about DJ Moore one time. He said, DJ Moore is my spirit animal. We all know what Steve Smith brought to the table as a wide receiver. He would get the ball. He was physical with the ball. He would get the ball. He would run people over. You know what I mean? All types of things. So he did a lot of his damage after the catch. And, with a young quarterback, sometimes it's difficult to trust that, hey, I'm going to get him the ball and he's going to do some things. You want to see guys get wide open. You want to make the plays and things like that. So DJ Moore is a different type of receiver where he's a dependable guy. Like, you can throw it to him and he's going to fight for their yardage. He's going to get you the first downs. He's going to do some of those things. So Caleb has to, at some point, he'll recognize that, and he'll start seeing that more often, and he'll start throwing him the ball more often. I think he will get more targets. I hope he does, because like I said, you got to keep the defense honest, man, and that means going to both sides of the football field.
Indeed. And we'll be talking a lot more about that and how the running game is also a key part of that, attacking up the middle and running effectively in between the tackles and those sweep plays and so forth. So we'll talk more about that. But I want to get to our final point, or your final takeaway, which is winning cures all. I don't know. I still got a little bit of a cough here, Danigan. Talk me off.
Still got a little bit.
Tell me why you're feeling so optimistic.
I mean, you look at that team. You look at the locker room at the end of the game. You look at how they reacted to Ben Johnson winning his first game. You look at how Caleb we talked about this last week, right? One of my points and my takeaways from last week was Roman and Caleb have a connection, but where is DJ, right? And that was one of the points. Now you look at it, and they're on the sidelines laughing, joking, having a good time, right? So winning cures all. Winning really cures all. It makes everything come together on the football team. So I've seen them take steps, you might say, when it comes to the relationships that they have on the football field, the fun that they're having. And like I said, that's a feeling that you don't want to get rid of. So I think I forgot who said it, but it was somebody said it, we're going to enjoy this today. We're going to enjoy it tomorrow, but we got to get right back into the lab and go right back to work, because you know why? I want this feeling again next week. I don't want to have the losing feeling. I want the same feeling. So when you have that feeling, that really, it brings teams together. It makes people believe in what you're doing. If you put a whole week worth of practice in and you go forward, and then you go out there, you guys bomb out and you get drove like they did against, Detroit, it brings you down. It's like, man, what are we doing this for? Was the game plan right? You start questioning all these things. But when you win a game, all of a sudden, man, hey, everything is great. Everything's peaches and cream. Let's get it. Let's go. You know what I mean? So that's winning cures all, man. It makes everybody happy.
Probably, the most joyous I was, even, during the game, because I was happy and stuff. But the most joyous I was when I saw that video in the locker room of Tremaine and Caleb getting game balls, and then Caleb giving a game ball to Ben Johnson. Those guys were fired up, and you want to see that from our Chicago Bears. We haven't had that since the Matt Nagy year, 2018, when they would have, their locker room party. But it's clubbed up, yes. But it's so important for a team to have that and to build on that and have multiple successes. This game against the Raiders is so important. But yeah, what was your reaction when you saw that video of Coach Ben Johnson being diabolical with this?
Man, I was loving it, man. That's a guy that guys want to play for, right? You want to play for that type of guy. And then, we all saw it. I saw it on Twitter. I saw clips of it, and it's like the difference between Ben Johnson winning his first game and what Eberflus's speech was like. It's like a tone, like Eberflus was just, yeah, man, guys, appreciate you. Everybody did a good job. Let's go to work again, blah, blah, blah. There was no fired up. There was no happiness. There was no, it was just, that's not, you want to celebrate your victories. You want to take them because it's hard to win football games. So when guys put their blood, sweat, and tears on the line and they go out there and they actually, they win the game, man, it doesn't matter how you won the game. You won. That's all that matters. So, at the end of the day, I was glad to see that. I think they'll build on it. I really do.
Yeah. Do you, Cliff Victoria says, I don't like making trades during the season, but this team could use a running back. What's your thought on that? Because there's two thoughts. Is one, you're feeling confident about the running game, and Ben Johnson has said that it's just gonna, the line has to do their job. The running backs can do their job. Or do you feel like, let's, just in case there's an injury, let's try to talk to teams about maybe they got an extra back on the team. Breece Hall, I mean, that's not an extra back. That's a Pro Bowl caliber player, but he might be available. Some people out in the East Coast are saying, would you like Ryan Post to entertain the idea of acquiring a top-notch running back?
Man, it's a difficult question, and I think we broached this topic on Three Kings of the Midway, and my co-host, he's really like, he's adamant, like, hey, go get Breece Hall, go get him, trade a fourth or a third or whatever. And I'm like, the running back position is so dependent on so many things, man, that it's hard to really make a real impact unless you're the caliber player of like a Saquon Barkley or a Derrick Henry. Those type of guys, you drop at the drop of a dime, you go get him. Breece Hall is a good player, but go look at his stats, man. His stats are similar to DeAndre Swift's. Over the course of his career, they're very similar. I don't think he's ran for over 1,000 yards in the season yet. So you look at that and it's like we trade for a guy who's he's 2 years younger, 24 as opposed to 26 with Swift. But injuries with them and the shelf life of a running back is so short that I feel like, hey, I don't see there being an exponential difference between him and DeAndre Swift. I know people are down on DeAndre right now, but I think we just need to give it a little bit of time. Understand also that we have 3 new offensive linemen. We have 1 left tackle who's working himself back in shape, basically, from an injury where he was out for the majority of last year. So when you're dealing with that, there takes some time to really gel and come together. And as much as we want to blame DeAndre Swift, we also have to understand that, hey, he needs blocking too. He needs holes to be open. You know what I mean? You can't just run away from everybody. You gotta have some situations where you get untouched. You know what I mean? Like, you look at what happened with Detroit. They handed the ball off on the goal line, and the man walked into the end zone from 5 yards out, literally untouched. Those types of things need to happen, but you need blocking up front to do it.
Yeah, it was funny too because when Ben Johnson was asked about the performance of Braxton Jones, he said that he was impressed with the progress, but the one thing he pointed out was the run blocking, and then he kind of shifted and said, the entire offensive line did not do a good job run blocking. I'm paraphrasing, and since Braxton's part of the offensive line, he needs to take responsibility in that. So he's not 100% pleased with what that offensive line is doing in the run game, and I'm no professor of the all-22, but when I was cutting tape together for Danny Shimon on Buffon 55, who evaluated Braxton Jones in last night's episode, it was pretty obvious to me that there were some issues with the veterans at the interior of that offensive line with the run blocking. On a couple of plays, Drew Dahlman was just kind of looked lost out there, and I expect his play to improve dramatically as the season goes on once he gets comfortable with stuff. So any other thoughts about winning cure all before we move on?
Man, like I said, winning cures all. These guys will come back to the table. They'll be more locked in this week in practice, in film session, and so on and so forth. They'll be more locked in, and you have a situation where you can stack these games. Let's keep stacking them, man. Win this game against the Raiders, and like I said, winning will continue to cure feelings, attitudes. Everything will be cured because of winning.
Yeah, indeed. All right, Cliff is making some really good points about the running game. We'll get to that topic and a lot more in our next segment. This is Bare Their Souls, and after our 30 minutes of football talk, I play the open. That gives me a chance to go to the washroom and stuff, and you guys can take a look at my work. Here it is, Bare Their Souls, about 4.5 minutes on this open.
The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Timmy, go to bed now.
There's a Chicago Bears podcast.
Comes out. Chicago says they have it. They do.
Unlike most others, a bunch of guys on the broadcast acting much like brothers. This is Bare Their Souls, uncensored with no control.
Third and 8, blitz coming. It's picked up. Williams has a man wide open. He's got it. Touchdown to Toomsday.
This is Bare Their Souls, with some likable a-holes. This is Bare Their Souls, with no control. This is better souls with some likable a-holes.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Better Souls. Johnny Santucci in the house. Steven Zimmerman in the house. How are you guys?
Good.
Right.
Had caught Daniken's 5 things, man. Really great. But you know,
Kicking ass.
Alyssa Barbieri's got 7 things, Daniken. We need to go to best. Good go to best.
I gotta do better. I gotta do better.
That was fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you, Cliff, and everyone else who liked that open. Zim, how are you, my man?
I'm here. I am here.
Did you just get here from work, or were you working with the family? What happened? You seemed
Yeah. So I got held up at work a little late. A
Mhm.
couple mistakes at the end of the night, which just had to kind of hang out with that, and then came home. Got the boys to bed, took a quick shower. Now I'm here. Hair's still wet. Hey, hair's still safe for another week. So
Yeah.
He was worried, Aldo.
I was
You what?
not worried.
Weren't you worried at halftime? Come on.
No, genuinely, I was worried at the end of the first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter.
At the end of the first quarter, I was worried. And then immediately they came out in the second quarter, and I was like, no. It's not going to be like that. We're good.
Yeah, it was funny because we've got a DM on X, and Daniken said, what was the exact message? Do you remember,
I
Daniken?
forgot what it was. I said he's sweating right now or something. I forgot what it was.
Exactly.
Well, I tell you, after the first drive of the game was that 3 and out, and I immediately sent a text to everybody talking shit. I was like, looks like my hair is definitely safe, guys. I was so ready for another fucking shitstorm, guys. I really was. I'm so glad it wasn't.
Are you willing to extend the dare another week against the Raiders in Vegas?
All right. I'll put it this way.
He's like looking at the sky like I just say, hey, will you please suck my dick? Like,
I mean, look, I tell you, you do that, I'll definitely cut my hair. I'll do whatever you want. But
move on.
I want to say look, I'd love to say season long. Cliff makes a point of hair grows back, but I'm talking with 3 guys here. Well, I was about to say, I'm talking to 3 guys here that are, I think, Daniken, I think you're a little older than me, maybe not much, but you don't got any hair, though. So
Yeah.
at a certain
I do it on
age,
purpose, though. It's on purpose.
right, it grows back, but at a certain age, it doesn't grow back the same way,
You're right about that.
That's where I'm at. I got a regular at work, and I tell him all the time, like, man, I'm thinking about cutting it. And he goes, Steve, just be prepared, man. If you do, it might not ever come back the same way. Because I did it back in 1988, and it didn't come back after that. And I'm like, damn, that's a long time to have to live with that. So
No shit.
You know?
Tim, your wife may know more about football than you, but she loves you no matter what.
That's right.
No matter how that hair grows back.
Well, I tell you, it's pretty irritating, man. When I try to get her advice on the hair, I'm like, you want me to cut it? You want me to leave it long? She's like, I don't care. I love you for you. And I'm like, stop being so supportive. Make a decision.
J2K says that Zim should donate that hair to me and Daniken.
Well, the plan is now that it's long enough, I do definitely plan to donate it to Locks of Love or some other similar organization when it gets long enough, because this particular hair that's growing out of me right now has never been dyed, has never been bleached, has never really been under very much heat or anything. Like it's I take care of my hair because it's the easiest way to get it to grow. This is only 2 years of length, believe it or not. So,
Wow.
So yeah, eventually we'll get there. Hey, maybe we can turn it into some kind of fundraiser for the bar room or something like that, or for some kind of fundraiser for some kind of foundation that we believe in and support, the way that we used to do with like the Pediatric Brain Cancer Foundation and things like that. So, not to put anybody on the spot. That's something we'll discuss when we get to that point. But I will say I am inclined to keep the offer for the rest of the season. If the Bears put up 50 at any point in the season,
oh wow,
I may or may not cut my hair.
May or may not.
I am tempted. I'm telling you guys, I am very tempted to leave this offer on the table for the entire length of this season. However many games that is, whether that's another 14, 15, 16 games. But I don't know, guys. I might need something in return for all that. So
yeah, we'll figure something out.
Barflies, let me hear it. Co-hosts, let me hear it. If you guys have some kind of incentive, some kind of trade-off for me, if I cut my hair after the Bears score a 50 burger, I want to know what the incentive is behind it.
There you go. We'll make it worth your while. We'll huddle here and let you know what you're going to do.
You see what D. Stern said, and that's actually true. I cut my hair, right, and I used to have my hair would grow. I had braids at one point, all kinds of stuff, right, and I cut my hair off, and it never really grew back. I mean, it grew back some, but it never grew back like you wanted it to back.
That's what I'm worried about, man.
Now, Tooch doesn't have that problem because look at how beautifully dark his hair is. It just continues to grow darker and darker and darker. How do you do that, Tooch?
I can shave my bum, Maldo. Get in on this action.
Exactly. Oh man. Where are we here? Where'd my shot go? There it is. No, somebody's missing. Where's my 4 shot? There it is. Okay. All right. Hey, Tooch, do you have a Bear state of affairs for us?
Man, it's Victory Monday or Victory Wednesday, actually. I'm a couple days behind. I'm still celebrating.
You should be. We all should be. I hope your Bear state of affairs is celebratory in nature.
Good. Yeah. It was easy to write this week. We won.
Yeah, right. It's easy to write when you win, man. I had to reel myself back in the middle of my song. I caught myself going on too much, and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah, Steven Zimmerman has a great song coming up, and our guy Fitz, who joins us at the top of the hour, he was over at the Wiener Circle. He's got a video to share with us. Man. So we got tons of great stuff. But let's start with Tooch's Bear State of Affairs, and it always starts with this open.
It's time for John's Bears State of Affairs. He got nothing but truth bombs about the Bears. He tells it like it is and always has, with no agenda, just a little pizza. Sit back, light it up, and crack open a beer.
Whoa, nice. Look at this. Johnny Santucci.
It's been a long time since we had a Victory Wednesday. It's like waking up from a deep freeze, although. Yeah, plus the Packers lost in Cleveland. Yeah, Bears 2025 season week 4. What's happening, Barflies?
It's like Christmas, man.
Yeah.
Indeed.
That time, we got to check in with the Bears.
Oh, John, you cracked us up again. That punchline hit like a rolling pin.
Yeah, what a difference a week makes, Aldo.
How about it?
Yeah.
that guy is fucked up.
Yeah.
Not only he's got bear bites, but he's got bullet holes too.
We spared no expense, Aldo.
Well done.
Yeah, things are a heck of a lot different after the Bears beat the Cowboys 31-14, giving head coach Ben Johnson his first regular season win. Woo!
Pretty cool.
Yeah, what a difference winning makes. Yeah, last week after the Bears were trounced by the Lions and started the season off 0-2, yeah, Bears fans had given up hope, Aldo.
Indeed.
Yeah, nobody had much faith in the Bears. Bears fans are ready to burn down Hallis Hall and fire everyone. Yeah. In fact, after the Lions game, Coach Ben Johnson was so disappointed in his team, he had to motivate them somehow. Yeah. Yeah, he pointed out the team's poor practice habits, saying, "Our practice habits have not been those of a championship caliber team."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really effective, man. That quote's going to be important this year, yeah, as the Bears immediately bounced back from their blowout loss in Detroit. Yeah, in fact, it was so effective, I started using Ben Johnson's quote around the house. Yeah, if my girls weren't getting their grade school homework done, it was our homework habits have not been championship level, girls. And boom, the homework started getting done on time, Zim. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's spaghetti was a little subpar last week. I was like, our cooking habits haven't been championship level. Yeah. Tonight, magic spaghetti.
John, you're turning me on. Give it to me rough. I can't get enough.
Jesus.
Who would have thought it was that easy, Danica? Yeah, Bears fans have given up hope. In fact, before the game, Art Levy, owner of local restaurant The Wiener Circle, fired off a tweet in an attempt to motivate the 0-2 Bears. Yeah, Levy, believing it would never happen, promised everyone free hot dogs if Caleb Williams threw for 4 touchdowns. Boom! Caleb did not let hungry Bears fans down, man.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Woo-hoo, I recognize that guy there, Aldo.
Yeah, good looking guy. I think he's on our show.
Yeah, said Williams after the game, quote, "I heard about the 4 touchdown thing. Congrats, everybody. You got free hot dogs." Yeah. Yeah, the Wiener Circle ordered an extra 2,000 hot dogs ahead of Tuesday's giveaway where patrons could visit the Lincoln Park location for a free hot dog.
Yes.
Levy also credited Chicago-based bread company S. Rosen's for donating 2,000 poppy seed buns in support of the giveaway.
Pretty cool.
Rosen's is the best.
Man. Yeah, when the Bears win, it really brings the community together. Yeah, Caleb fed the masses hot dogs on his way to being named Offensive Player of the Week. Yeah, in all, the Bears quarterback threw for 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 142.6 quarterback rating.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, he spread the ball around too. Yeah, hitting 4 different receivers for touchdowns. Roma Dunze, Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, and rookie Luther Burden all caught touchdown passes. Yeah. Yeah, Burton's touchdown came on a beautiful 67-yard bomb off of a flea flicker. Yeah, apparently the Bears saw a flaw in Matt Eberflus's Cowboys defense. I never would have guessed, Aldo. Yeah.
What? It's the same Fumblerooski concept that got us.
Yeah, it's from the Barroom Network.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, and when's the last time the Bears ran a flea flicker? Man, Aldo and I have been Bears fans for a long time. I can't remember the Bears ever running a flea flicker. I've been watching for 50 years.
Do you know anybody that would know?
I had to ask Bears historian Dan Aguirre if he knew of the Bears ever running a successful flea flicker. You know what he said?
Wait.
He didn't say that, but he said no. He thought he did think the Giants ran one against us on opening day in 1993.
That's wild.
Yeah.
2018.
Woo. 2018. We ran a flea flicker.
Apparently. 65. Maybe. I need to look into this deeper. I will find an answer for you.
I looked. I could not find it.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, flea flickers and all. Yeah, it's a completely different Bears team than we're used to, folks. Man, I thought it might be in the Twilight Zone when I saw a flea flicker. Woo.
How about it?
Yeah, with 7 total touchdowns. Caleb now leads the NFL in touchdown passes. Yeah, that's something no Bears quarterback has done since Sid Luckman in 1946, and y'all thought I was not going to get the inevitable with a Sid Luckman reference. But here it is. Yeah, this might have been Caleb's best game as a pro. He played in structure, he made the right reads, and most importantly, he was accurate deep, something he's been criticized about for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
He made some really difficult throws look easy. Yeah, not only that, Bears receiver Rome Odunze also leads the NFL in touchdowns with 4, marking the first time a Bears receiver has ever led the NFL in touchdown catches.
Wow.
It's a totally different Bears team. And not only that, although the Bears had an insane 19-play touchdown drive that took over 10 minutes off the clock.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah, the only other time the Bears had a 19-play drive was in 2009 against the Ravens. That play ended in a turnover, though.
Yeah. 4 now. I think 4th down, they failed to convert.
Not only that, but as good as Caleb Williams was, defensive captain Tremaine Edmonds was also phenomenal. Yeah, the Bears defensive captain, he was all over the field, grabbing 2 interceptions and making 15 tackles with 6 solos. Since he's joined the Bears in 2023, Edmonds has 7 interceptions. Yeah, like I said last week, this game against the Cowboys, it was a must-win if the Bears wanted to turn their season around. And like Danica said, winning cures all. Take a look at the schedule, and some of those games start looking a lot more winnable.
Mm-hmm.
After the game Sunday, Bears fans got to look inside the Bears locker room after a win. Ben Johnson revealed his mantra for the team. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good gets better and your better gets best. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Ben Johnson. I think that the Bears might finally have a great head coach. Yeah, Bears got absolutely thumped last week in Detroit. Other Bears teams might have collapsed after that, but not this team. The way that Ben Johnson challenged the team this week, and the way they responded, was extremely impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It was evident on the field. The penalties were down, the intensity was up, all 3 phases were dialed in, including a defense that had 5 sacks, but was missing 3 of its best players.
Mm-hmm.
After the game, Johnson was in no mood to celebrate his first career victory, saying, "We're behind the 8 ball. We're 1-2. You know who else is 1-2? The Chiefs and the Ravens, 2 perennial playoff teams. Next week, the Bears travel to Vegas to play the Raiders. A chance to go on their bye week at 2-2.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Good, better, best. Yeah, the Bears were good on Sunday. They were better, too. Yeah, Bears fans want to know, how soon before we're the best? That's Bears State of Affairs. Those chicks are hot. Those cowgirls, man, they're hot.
Yeah, and the AI girls are hot too. Have you noticed that?
I was thinking, the past for a long time we've been in like this deep freeze of no winds and stuff, and I thought of that Shining thing where he's frozen sitting outside in the hedge maze, you know, from the movie The Shining. I wanted to make it come to life, Aldo.
Oh, I love that. That is great.
Give him a little bear's hat and wake him up. That's how I felt, man. We're waking up from that slumber.
That is so true. Yeah, I mean, this show is 180 degrees different than what we had last year, where I did an open where we were lamenting, you know, same old shit, another season and so forth. Danigan and others, you know, were more even tempered, give us time and stuff. But, you know, for guys like Tucci and myself, we get so frustrated with losing so many. You know, we're the seniors in this group here, so our patience is down to about nothing. But great job with that Bear State of Affairs. Any Zim or Daniken, you got anything regarding Bear State of Affairs that you want to either supplement or contradict with what Tucci said?
I am genuinely over here on YouTube trying to find the last time the Bears ran a flea flicker.
Somebody in the chat said that New Orleans Saints game.
No, I looked up the play and I can pull it up for you. That was a wildcat formation, fake end around pitch from Cordero Patterson to Mitchell Trubisky, pass to the end zone. It was sort of a flea flicker, but not a true flea flicker in the sense of the quarterback hands off and it's pitched back to him.
Gotcha.
Other than that, fantastic state of affairs. I was fucking rolling through the first half of it, man.
Yeah. I was dying too, man. I was dying a lot. Real good stuff, man. All on point. I mean, you can't, you know, with what the Bears did, I mean, you encompassed everything in that Bears state of affairs. And we're in a situation where we should be happy. We should be pleased with what went on in this last game. So I know I am, and I know for the most part, man, all Bears fans are. You know, you still have a couple that are kind of funny acting about it, though.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I mean, I came up with this.
Boy, that Caleb really shut some people up. What up, what up? Hopefully they'll stop calling for the fucking backup.
Because
that brings up a really good point that, like, yeah, Caleb threw for 4 touchdowns, but like, I think Bajent could have done 5. Like, there were some opportunities in that game.
Bajent was in, you'd have been cutting your hair off.
But yeah,
I mean, he left stuff on the field, man. He did.
Yeah, he did. But I was gonna say, all the Bajent lovers, they're not in the chat room today. You know what happened? They're fucking watching Survivor on TV or whatever. I don't know.
They're watching CHGO.
CHGO, I guess.
I put a tweet out earlier. And I said, you know, it was when Caleb won Offensive Player of the Week and whatever. I put a tweet out and I said, imagine what Bajent could just think about what Bajent might be able to do in this offense. And people went berserk. People went crazy on it, right? And my mentions. I mean, I looked at it. I looked at the tweet, and it's like people were perusing through my profile looking for, you know, I guess whatever they wanted. I'm like, it's 136 people went and viewed my profile for some reason.
Jeez.
Because I made that tweet, and I put laughing emojis, so it was clear that I was joking. Right? Yeah.
Those are digital illiterates. They don't understand what the emojis mean. Go ahead, Sim.
To bring it back, though, to state of affairs, you know, Tucci mentioned the fumble Ruski, man. And, you know, I don't know if it was intentional or if they didn't quite pull it. I swear to God, I saw a fumble Ruski in the red zone from this team this week. You know, and I'm about to look it up to see if I can find exactly the play to show you guys what I'm talking about. But I feel like I saw one. I might be going crazy, but maybe it was a genuine, unintentional little stumble from Caleb Williams, but it seemed like he was leaning a little too far back on a fake handoff. I want to say it was in like the second quarter or so. It's hard for me to remember. I was working while I was watching this game. So,
do you get baked? Do you get baked when you're at your job?
No. No, I haven't.
That was 62.1 yards in the air. That flea flicker throw. It's like the longest.
It's the longest throw in the. Yeah, the longest air yards on a completion in the NFL so far this season. Trust me, I got all the stats pulled up for this week. I got all of them.
That's not an easy pass to complete, man.
No, it's not.
Dropped it in there.
Especially with the pitch back from DeAndre. I mean, that ball was way up there. Do you think if he would have set the perfect one, Caleb would have overthrown him? I would have lost.
That's such a good point, though. But like, but that's something that was actually really impressive about this game that almost makes me feel like they need to play off schedule more, because like the touchdown to Rome apparently was a live action audible, like an uncalled audible. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but basically Rome cooked the DB. He cooked Diggs. Diggs fell on his ass, and Rome just booked it for the end zone. And Caleb saw him and threw it, which, like, you know, as pointed out by Adam Hogue, we might not have noticed that had he not told us. It was such a clean, on-time play. But, like, it makes me wonder, like, when they schedule those plays, he seems to miss them. But when they're off schedule, when they're in the moment, when they're improvisation, he always succeeds. Like, the more and more I watch him, the more he reminds me of like Russell Wilson, but with elite athleticism. Like, Wilson had above average athleticism, but he was never like a truly elite athlete, like the Mike Vick kind of guy, like for as much as I dislike him, Justin Fields, as much as I dislike him, like John Elway was a truly like elite athlete. He didn't have top end speed, but he was built like a tank. Donovan McNabb's another guy who's a top end athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Favre and Rodgers both used to have really good escapability from the pocket.
Yeah, you know, Ben Roethlisberger.
Caleb has that. Mahomes has that.
And so
the best I ever
makes
saw
me wonder,
was Fran Tarkenton.
Francis Asbury
Tarkenton. That guy had eyes in the back of his head, man.
He was amazing.
So at any rate, it makes me wonder, like, if Ben needs to start building in like back doors onto some of these plays, so to say, like in the sense of, you know, almost plan for the play to break down, because if that happens, that's where Caleb's most successful. That's where Rome's most successful. That's where DJ's most successful. Like, it's where Komet's most successful too over the last few years. I mean, even back with Trubisky and Fields, you know, think about how long Komet's been here. First of all, Komet's been Trubisky days, and he's been with all these dudes. And he's
the only thing I say about it, and I agree that, you know, some of his stuff that he does off platform is really spectacular, right? You just, in the NFL, you can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah,
10 to 15 times a game. You can only do it like 3 to 4, maybe 5 times at the max.
I agree.
Where you gain that. You know what I mean? Like
right.
That keeps the defense honest. But if you're doing it all the time,
you're
we're going to see
a
lot
and that's
of
where
failure.
I say, you know, build the playbook the way Ben Johnson builds the playbook. He made, again, I stand by it. He made Jared Goff a legitimate MVP candidate. It works. But then once you get that offense established in year 2.5, year 3, build in a back door on, like, you know, 2/3 of the playbook. And you've got this back door where all of a sudden, you know, it's the kind of stuff that made Aaron Rodgers so successful. It's the kind of stuff that made Brett Favre and Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, you know, and Tom Brady, like, so successful that when the play broke down, they had another step to go. So I look forward to it, because, like, I'm starting to think ahead, but it's because this game gave us the opportunity to see what it could actually be.
Coach,
they've got a connection, though. They got a connection.
Yeah, they sure do. Big time. Ben Johnson was asked about expectations for Caleb now that he's built this Player of the Week performance.
I think it's the comfort level right now of taking all this information over the course of the week, which is a lot. I mean, shoot, we just had a walkthrough and we screw some things up, and that's because we just talked about it for the first time, and we're going to screw a couple things up in the walkthrough. Well, we got to get better at it during practice, and then I think what I'm most impressed at with him and his process is the next day he really locks everything in from the day before, and we don't have to go back and revisit it again. So he's a quick study in that regard, and because of that, we can load up the game plan more each week. Week 3 was a lot more than week 1, and hopefully that's our new normal here going forward. Is not just for him, but for the entire offense. We can have a little bit more in the game plan to help attack some of these defenses. And so because he's doing that and his comfort level is growing, we're able to grow as an offense.
He sounds really confident, much more confident than he did, after the week 1, week 2 loss. He sees growth and he's being authentic about it. Still not there, of course, but he's seeing growth, and that makes me feel good because the guy, he's not a bullshitter, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was one pass play. It was a 30-yard pass play to Luther Burden that was over the first line of defense in front of the safeties. That was freaking hard, big time throw, man. That was amazing.
Yep.
Right, just hit him.
Yep.
Laser beam.
I posted that on X, and a lot of, of course, people are going to come in and criticize it. Well, he should have hit this guy in the flat. He should have done this. He should have done that. It's like, dude, look at the performance here. That throw, there aren't many quarterbacks in the NFL that can make that throw. And you're asking him to deliver a pass to somebody in the flat when Burden is almost 40 yards downfield. What's wrong with you?
That pass is going to have the Raiders thinking.
Yeah.
It would have them thinking.
I think so. So.
Just real quick, can we talk very shortly, very, very shortly about the Cowboys, as long as we're talking about arm talent?
Sure.
Does anybody else feel like Joe Milton is absolutely a starter in this league after seeing him at the end of that game? Sure, his decision-making isn't the greatest, but that guy's got a cannon, man.
He does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we can go back to the Bears. I just wanted some affirmation that this guy is like insane.
Well, I arm talent is one thing, right? So he's got to, I haven't seen him put touches on footballs yet and all the other things at a quarterback, but there's no doubt that this guy has an NFL plus arm talent.
I feel like the Cowboys might be set after Dak goes with Milton there.
Could be. I know.
At any rate, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to detract too much. We can go back.
Oh, that's all right. They gave up, real quick. They gave up on Trey Lance, right? He's no longer with the Cowboys?
No, he is in LA with the Chargers now.
Okay.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The Bears caught a break when CeeDee Lamb went out. And that injury, I've got a picture. Look at his ankle.
Jeez.
Wow.
No wonder he was out, man. How hard
I hate to say it. He did it to himself.
Why do you say that?
He dropped a 250-pound man on his own leg. I mean, I get that he's trying to escape the tackle, but the guy's coming at you from an angle that it's either going to be a hip drop or you're going to drop him on yourself, and you got to kind of decide which one's better.
I have a problem with the play call. I don't think that an offensive coordinator should put their star wide receiver, particularly early in the game, in a running situation like that, where the first guy that's going to hit you is probably going to be a linebacker. And, that guy is making what? $20 million a year. You got to be careful how you use a guy like that, especially a long guy like that.
By extension, it almost makes what the Bears are doing with DJ Moore almost more acceptable, because you realize that they've got Luther Burden and Rome Odunze there. If him as a gadget player doesn't work out or gets hurt being put in the situations that he's in, it's a real weird situation, but it makes me think of that because I don't know how they feel about DJ Moore, and with all the speculation and everything around him lately, the fact that they've got him in these situations. We talk about what just happened with CeeDee Lamb because his offensive coordinator puts him in a rough situation. The Bears are kind of doing the same thing with DJ Moore. And do you worry about him holding up over the course of the season, coming out of the backfield the way that he has in the last 2-3 weeks?
DJ's got a totally different body than CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb has horse race legs, and DJ Moore is built like a running back, I mean, the guy is sturdy, super strong. He breaks tackles and stuff. That's not CeeDee Lamb's game. CeeDee Lamb is long, down the field receiver.
Well, the Bears receivers are thicker.
Mm-hmm.
All three of the big three are thicker players. Why you would risk CeeDee Lamb on a run play like that? Just dumb play calling.
Yeah, no, it's totally valid. It's just something I thought I'd bring up with the. Them using CD in such a way and DJ being used in a similar way.
Yeah.
When go ahead, Danny.
I'm not a huge fan of doing it too often, but if you want to throw him back there every now and then and try to, get the defense to guess a little bit, I'm cool with it. But I'm not like I said, I said it before, and I've been on this fence where I'm like, okay, DJ is physical. We know that he can run people over, but it's different running over a defensive end. I mean, a defensive, back. Somebody that's 5'9" or 5'11", 200 pounds, 205 pounds, than a possible defensive end or a linebacker that's chasing you down. Those guys are a little bit different when it comes to tackling them. And you never know. Yeah, he's solid. He's stocky, and all of that. He's built. But how does your body react to something that you're not used to dealing with, right? That's the question that I have. If you're not used to being hit like that, and all of a sudden you start taking some shots like that, then your body may not react well to it sometimes.
Yeah. Tooch and Zim, Danica and I were talking in the pre-show about the running back problem the Bears have. What kind of a take do you have? Do you think it's a player personnel issue in the running back room, or you think it's an offensive line issue? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts would be, look, it's early to go shopping for a running back. I think we got one nice win, fantastic. Vegas looks winnable as well. Then we head into the bye. I'll kind of see where we're at after maybe the Commanders game. If we're 3-2, and then I forget who's after the Commanders. That's another winnable game. Is it the Saints? Yeah.
Saints. Yep.
So the Saints, we come out, let's say we win the next 3 and we're 4-2 like we were last year, before the 10-game losing streak. We're heading into the Ravens game 4-2. Then I don't remember exactly when the trade deadline is, but then you could start thinking, I'm sure there's teams who are going to be sellers rather than buyers, as long as we're not giving them a second round, like Claypool type pick for somebody. If we could get somebody, there's players out there. You could, like you mentioned, Breece Hall, which fine. Not a bad player, pretty good player. I'm trying to think of who else might be out there.
His name is Johnson Tucci. He's never worn Gucci, but he knows a thing or two about pussy.
Yeah, I know. There's one guy I know that the Falcons wouldn't get rid of him, but the backup to Bijan is a pretty damn good football player.
Tyler Algiers, yeah.
He's freaking good, man. He's good at football. That's one guy maybe in the offseason, if he's a free agent, might take a look at that kid. But I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, you got to have a lot. There's a lot of attrition at running back right now. You saw James Conner went down. Get a good look at Trey Benson. I think is that his name, Trey Benson.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna look at Trey Benson. Other than that, you'd have to see like which teams are thinking of parting with any running backs.
Yeah,
I don't know that the Bears have their running back of the future on the roster. I don't know that their running back of the future is in the league. I think they had their eyes on a couple guys in the draft. It didn't break their way, and they liked Monangai as a Roschon Johnson replacement because you can't trust Johnson to stay healthy over a full 17 games. So if you got two guys who play very similarly there, they're kind of the thunder to the lightning. What the Bears could really use is a guy like David Montgomery. And it's just a shame that they never had him, in the building or on the roster or within an extension talk or anything like that.
Yeah. I read a tweet where after David Montgomery left and the Lions paid him a certain amount. I don't know exactly what he made, but the Bears gave that same amount to wide receiver Byron Pringle.
Yep.
It's like, come on, So Daniken's face palming. But I mean, it's those kind of decisions you really got to scratch your head sometimes.
But yeah, I don't see the Bears trading anybody for a running back or trading any picks for a running back, I should say, in a league where it's so easy to come by guys, Bucky Irving in the 4th round instead of a punter, maybe, or Kyle Monangai in the 7th round instead of a left tackle, maybe, or, there's guys that you can find throughout the draft. Tyler Algiers, I believe, was a 3rd rounder or a 2nd rounder. You can find these guys.
He was a 5th or 6th round pick.
Was he that late? Wow. And Cam Scatabo, fourth rounder.
We had a chance to pick Scatabo. I think people in the
everybody did
the
2-3 times.
The live draft show. We go, let's pick. There were barflies clamoring for Scatabo. Man.
Scatabo, I won't lie. Scatabo felt to me like Daniel Braverman. You know, he's the tough white guy that everybody likes, but who knows if he's really going to pan out in the league. And it looks like so far he is
incredible, man. He's an athlete.
But at the same time,
he would be an instant fan favorite if he was doing that on the
Bears. Absolutely, absolutely.
But it would sell 1 million jerseys.
Have you guys seen The Hobbit? You know, The Hobbit and the big troll. It's the concrete on his head and runs head down the wall. That's Cam Scatabo, man. That guy runs like he wants CTE. Like, I swear to God,
he's a hard hat player, man. He brings his hard hat. I tell you. But look, next week we're going to be playing Ashton Genty. I know people are down on Genty. That Raiders offensive line is terrible, but 100% of his yards have come after contacts. 100% of his yards have come after contact. So I mean, if you ever say Ashton Genty is a bust, they don't know ball.
They don't know ball. But that also lets me know that their offensive line is terrible.
Oh, it's terrible.
So it also tells me that when Ashton Genty hits the free market in 4 to 5 years, he's going to have a Saquon Barkley type breakout afterwards. You know, because the Raiders did the exact same thing there that the Giants did with Saquon, where they drafted back before the line. And 100%. When you do that, the guy never has success, and then he goes to his second team. Wait, I think I know another team that did that. Didn't David Montgomery run behind a piss poor offensive line and then break out when he got to his second team?
He had an awesome game on was it Monday night against the Ravens, man.
I promise you, we can have this running back conversation all day, and I will bring it back to David Montgomery and every single time. Yeah. The fact that the Bears got him in the third round,
here's the thing, though.
It's so good. It's so frustrating.
He was nasty. But here's the thing, though, with David Montgomery. If you look back at his years in college, he had the most carries. He had a ton of carries in college.
Yeah.
So in the NFL, a lot of teams look at how much wear do you have on a tire as a running back and when your time is going to be up. Now, it doesn't always work out like that, right? But that's what a lot of GMs, that's what a lot of organizations look at now.
Sure.
Man, did he have 250, 300 carries in college per year? David Montgomery was getting like over 300 per year at Iowa State. So, you know what I mean? Like, they were like, okay, that's a lot of carries on that body. That's, you know what I mean? How long is he going to last? So that's the problem that you have. Another thing that I ask people to look at when it comes to, you know, what are the Bears going to do at this running back position? I think because they want to throw the ball, they want to do this, they want to do that. Now, Ben Johnson does want to run the ball, too. I'm not saying he doesn't want to, right? He's going to want to run the ball, especially when the weather gets cold and things like that. But I think he's content, and I think they're content with doing it as a committee. So in the NFL nowadays, you don't have a lot of bell cow, you know what I mean, bell cow running backs out there. There are few and far between in that type of stratosphere. So you got to look at it, and it's like what I said about Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is a good player. He's explosive, so on and so forth.
Yep.
But I just look at his numbers, and I'm like, dude, like it's no different than what we have in Swift.
Exactly.
I mean,
he's DeAndre
the yards per carry is different. You know what I mean? The yards per carry is different.
Yards per carry.
But he's never run for 1,000 yards, and so is Swift though. But
that's Mr. Danikin, never known for panicking. He's one of the three kings. Wisdom is what he brings.
But that's that's I don't know. I just feel like it's a difficult situation to trade for a running back and give up draft capital for it.
Yeah,
I don't like doing
2023, the guy had 76 catches. That's
that's crazy.
That's a lot, man. That's like 5-6 balls a game.
I think this team could really use Matt Forte, man.
I wish.
Matt Forte and a Ben Johnson offense, man. That would be a thing of beauty.
He was the whole package, man. Run the ball, pass catch.
He was Christian McCaffrey, man.
He was tough.
No, I agree with you in the running back by committee. My biggest issue is let's look at the committees, and I think I picked the Bears bottom 5 in the league as a committee. You know,
Gotcha.
I would like to see some proven depth somewhere on the roster at that position, you know, and they just don't have it. You know, Travis Homer, career special teams guy. Roshan Johnson, I don't think he stayed healthy for more than 4 games at a time in his career. Kyle Monangai, 7th round pick. DeAndre Swift, you know what you've got right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Brees made. I mean, they both have good breakaway speed.
I agree. Cliff, I think Brees probably has a much higher upside than Swift, especially since he's only 24 years old and Swift is already 26 as well. You know
I think that Brees Hall is just DeAndre Swift 2 years ago. Like that's kind of my issue is like I see Brees Hall following that same kind of career trajectory, and that's why the Jets are willing to move on from him. You know, the same way that the Lions were willing to move on from DeAndre Swift after his age 23 season. You know, he had the breakaway speed, he had the pass catching ability, he had that explosiveness, but then you're willing to let him go because you see where the end of that rope is. And I think the Bears kind of just had to take what they could get in free agency, and he was the best of where they were shooting in the barrel at that point in time.
Yeah. He was the best available. See, that's the thing. Like you gotta understand too where the Bears are looking. Are they looking for a guy who's gonna be 1,200 yards rushing? No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think
you're
they're
looking for like an 800 to
12,
900 yard rusher, but a guy who can also catch 60 to 80 passes a year.
Yeah. I think they'll ride out this season with what they have. Yeah, unless they get on some type of crazy roll and it's like evident that if we get a decent running back, that'll put us over the top. That's the only way you do it. Other than that, you don't just do it for the sake of doing it.
But even still, if a running back's all it's going to take to put you over the top, like how many of those kind of guys are going to be available? You know,
that's true.
Yeah, what are you going to more than a running back away, though?
That's just
absolutely. We're edge rusher away. We're
left tackle away, but
health and nutrition away.
Yeah. What King Booker says here: a 1,200 to 400 yard all-purpose back or from scrimmage back.
A lot of good ones coming out in the draft next year.
Yeah,
a lot of good ones coming out next year.
Yeah, Tyler Algier from Atlanta. He's a good backup. He's a really good backup.
I just mentioned him. Joined the show? I just bring him up 5 minutes.
Yes.
He did.
That dude is good at football.
He is. Yeah. He's a really good player. Good player.
Very good player.
He's gonna do exactly what you ask him to do, and he's gonna give you 100% max effort every single time.
Yep.
Who else is Atlanta trying to move, do you think? Or I'm not saying that they're trying to move.
I don't think they're trying to move. It's like him backing up Bijan, but when he becomes a free agent, Brian Pohl should pick up the phone.
They got a pretty good receiver there who can play inside and out that I really like. Darnell Mooney. I think he'd be.
Has he played this season?
He's been injured.
He played 1 or 2 games. Yeah.
Okay. Because
he knows how to get open.
Oh, he's a great route runner.
I got a Mooney jersey in my closet, man. I love that guy.
John Buffon picked him before the draft to the Bears.
That's right.
Here he came out. It was this guy. Yep.
One of the only correct predictions he's ever had in his life. I hope he's not hearing me because he's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah, he's very strong too.
All right. Fitz should be joining us any minute. I wanted to play for you real quick because we're going to segue into talking about the Bears and Raiders. Let me get this out of the way. This is Ben Johnson talking about the matchup with the Raiders.
Man, really good team that we're about to face here this week. Got a lot of respect for their playmakers all across the field. I mean, defensively, obviously, it starts with Max Crosby there. He's I think, in my opinion, he's a top 5 player in this league on defense and probably doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. He's all over the place, relentless, high motor, and you got to account for him and know where he's at every single snap, or else he'll get you. And he wrecks drives. That's what he does. And then they've got great team speed on that side. Those guys are flying around. Offensively, they got playmakers at every position group. The quarterback's playing at a high level. I think they're the number 1 team in explosive plays right now on offense. And so we got our work cut out for us. And that goes without even mentioning their head coach, who I mean, I got a ton of respect for Pete Carroll. He's been doing this for almost 30 years, whether at the college level or the NFL, and I think he only has 4 losing seasons. So that's a credit to who he is. The teams take his identity. They play hard, they play fast, they play physical, they fly around. And I know that he'll have this group ready to go here this week. So we got to answer that call. We're still looking for our first road win. And, we have yet to obviously win 2 games back to back. And so that's huge for us and where we're going.
Let's, if Fitz is here on time, I just want to spend a few minutes before we bring him in talking about the importance of this game. Danica and I touched on it in the pre-show, but to me, I'm putting a lot of weight on this game. This is one of those road games that you have to win. You have to be better than the Raiders. A team that's rebuilding with a 74-year-old coach. There's the irony there, right?
The John Fox of the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me, Fitz has just popped in. So let's bring him in and ask him that same question.
Is that Fitz?
Look at that. Jesus.
Looks like he just got out of the pen.
It's like a Da Vinci photo.
Gotta block that guy next week.
There's Fitz. I think there's Fitz.
If I've got one question about the Raiders,
go ahead.
One question about the Raiders. It's how much money did Max Crosby spend on all those tattoos? My God, that is not cheap. That is good work.
That was good work. Look at that. His family.
He's covered. The illustrated man, Aldo.
Ollie, Jordan.
It's cool. Pretty, man.
What about this guy, though?
There it is.
There he is.
He got himself some free glizzies.
Yeah, let's play his intro here real quick because he likes it, and I think all of America likes it too.
He's about to make me hungry. Gonna microwave popcorn, trust me. When he talks about food, my appetite is renewed. This is Fritz with his restaurant critique.
Nice. Fitz, how are you, brother?
Doing just fine. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Not bad.
All right.
How long ago did you get that Caleb jersey?
Oh, I got this from Windy City Sports Cards.
Those guys.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Coming through.
One of their drawings. So, yeah. So this was last year. Yeah.
Very nice. And the hat?
Sweet.
Yeah, this got the hat going. So, yeah, just feeling the love this week for the Bears.
We won, Fitz. We won.
Yes.
And the Packers lost.
That was like a beautiful segue into that game. I mean, just the last 4 minutes of the Packers game. Oh my gosh, it was just wonderful. I got to see about the most of the first half before I was off to the wedding, and then watched the rest later. But that was just a great game. I loved it. Loved the 19 play drive. That's just I watched that twice, just went back and forth. Like it was just a thing of beauty. So even Monungai's backwards run, I was like, that
was the best negative 5-yard run I've ever seen.
I mean, it looked like they just couldn't tackle him. It wasn't like he was. You see something like that, and you say, well, just give up and live to see another day. They didn't want to tackle him. So he just kept going. So I didn't mind it at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, Brady was saying sometimes you got to learn when to give up. You know what? I agree with you, Tom Brady, but not in that instance. I just love the fact that this rookie was just proving how much he's going to work at grinding out and getting an extra yard or two. Yeah, he lost yards, but it's not the end of the world.
It was great.
Indeed. So what'd you think about the defense, Fitz?
I was shocked. I really was. The difference in that game, especially in the first half, was the Bears scored touchdowns and the Cowboys scored field goals. Because, we scored, it was 24-14 at half, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, they had 2 field goals and a touchdown. So if they get 3 touchdowns. It's 24-21. It's a whole different game at halftime.
Yeah, right.
So, and that's something I'm not used to as a Bears fans, getting touchdowns as opposed to field goals. So that was great. Whatever they did, I know it's just, everybody says, well, it's just the Cowboys. Well, heck, I mean, the Bears defense was the Bears defense. They should have been scoring on the Bears defense, and they didn't do it. So did something right. Sweat got a sack, right? Yeah, So I think they have a chance to, at least offensively repeat this week because the Raiders, their defense, especially their running defense, isn't that good. So we got to score more than 24 points, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised my buddy Keith, who thank you for the donation, Keith. He says he's not confident of the Bears offense versus the Raiders. He thinks it's a perfect storm for them to fail. I got to disagree with you, Keith. I think they're matching up really well. And this could be the week that my guy Steven Zimmerman is going to have to cut off all that hair because we're going to get about 50 points in a row.
Is that a season-long
Yes, it is.
Okay.
He doesn't know that until just about 5 seconds ago.
That's fine.
Was there a point in that game where you were thinking about that? It could happen?
Yeah, it was about the first quarter. It was about the first quarter. The first
I thought he was at halftime, too. I thought he was.
The first drive, I said my hair's safe, and then they scored 2 back-to-back touchdowns, and I was like, shit.
I'm going to call your wife, Brittany. If the Bears get up to like 30 points in the third quarter, I'm going to tell her, go over and get the scissors.
Get the clippers ready.
Yeah, get the clippers ready, right. Because that will be a moment. I just want to see the look of terror in your eyes.
There's some good players on the Raiders.
There is.
They do have some star power.
Yeah, Crosby's going to be a menace.
You gotta look at it like this, right? When I think about this game with the Raiders, the reason I say it's a must-win situation or the Bears need to handle their business is because this is a team that you should beat. Mm-hmm. So at the NFL level, you have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That's why I don't care, because there's a lot of people that were saying, "Oh, the Cowboys, their defense sucks," blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. And I'm thinking to myself, it doesn't matter. Whoever lines up across from you, you go out there, and if you're an inferior team, you stomp on them and beat them down into the dirt, which is what the Bears did. So I felt positive behind that. And then at the same time, you look at this Raiders team, and it's like, okay, this is a rebuilding team. Yeah, they got a couple of guys like Max Crosby or
Brock
Bowers and Gaston Genty, but by nobody stretch of the imagination or their playoff contending team.
No.
And this is a team that if you want to take a stride to the next level to where we're playing meaningful games in December, these are the type of games that you have to win.
Yep.
If you struggle against a tough team, I'm fine with that. But when you play an inferior team, beat them down.
Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Lose because they're bad?
Yeah, right.
You don't play down to your competition.
Right.
You play at the same level every time.
Beat their asses, indeed.
I mean,
you got to beat them off.
They know they're not beating, the Eagles or the Chiefs last week. And it was the Cowboys. You have to beat them. Mm-hmm. That's the next step. That's your next progression in growing. Beating the teams you're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the line? I didn't check the line. I thought it's switched and the Bears are favored now. Did it go the other way?
I know
I
it
don't have a line on
Raiders
the game.
-1.
Okay.
Raiders -1.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Oh, home team.
I mean, they're at home. They're home.
The Raiders 1.5. Yeah. I
Minus
mean,
1.5.
they get 3 points for being at home, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so on neutral, the Bears are covered. So.
Yep. It'd be Bears minus 1.5. But yeah, the Raiders look. They have some talent at different positions. The Bears fans are wondering. We're all wondering if the Bears can start to believe that, hey, we could play like this every game.
Yeah.
It's up to them to believe that they can, execute the coach's game plan. This is a guy that he called a 19-yard play and then went for it on 4th and goal for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got to start to believe that the coach. This is a good head coach, man. I haven't seen a good head coach like this in a long time. I'm very impressed.
I genuinely don't know that I ever have. Because I started.
I love Lovey. Lovey Smith was a good coach.
And that's what I was about to say. I started rooting for the Bears at the end of the Lovey Smith era, where I know there was some contention and some debate about some of the things he was doing. And ultimately, Lovey he turned out to be, and this is what I believe was his downfall. He was too much of a player's coach and not enough of a winning coach. You know, he wanted his guys to like him more than he wanted to win games. And I think that was his downfall. However, it's what got the guys to play hard and go win games at the same time. So it's like, do you really blame him? But that's where Ben differs, because guys like him because he just knows how to win. Like, he doesn't have to convince anybody to like him. He doesn't have to go to bat for anybody. The guys will go to bat for him because he's just a natural born leader. He walks into a room and you go, that's the guy, you know, like, there's no questions. Whereas I feel like at first Lovey had to earn that respect. He had to build that rapport. That's what made him a player's coach, was the rapport he had with them in order to coach them up to win. I hope I'm making sense with all that. Yeah.
What I see with Ben Johnson is like that fourth and goal in the third quarter. I mean, it could have been so easy. Just take the 3 points, go up by 10. You know, as you go into the fourth quarter, you're at home and your defense is playing well. He's like, no. You know, I know we haven't been successful on fourth down, but who cares? This is what I'm doing. You guys are going to – he's like dragging them along to do what he wants. Okay? It's like, you're going to do this. And I think it's like they're getting – because if they don't do it, they're not going to have the confidence to do it. You do it for a touchdown on a fourth down, and it wasn't even a 4th and 1. You know, they're out a few yards on that. So he's say, hey, I'm going this way. You guys are coming with. If you don't want to, then go sit down. And that's what I like.
It's like taking your kids on their first roller coaster, man. Like, you got to drag them kicking and screaming the whole way, and then they go on it and they're like, we want to do it again. The Bears are your 4-year-old going on Thunder Mountain for the first time, and Ben Johnson's dad dragging them along.
That was my dad taking me on the Demon at Six Flags when I was 9 years old. It was, you know. He got me into line without knowing it. I was like, oh, crap, I can't get out now. So.
Oh, my God. So, speaking of oh, crap, did you?
I have memories of going through that tunnel and seeing the lights, you know, waking up and seeing those lights just shining apart. But, yeah, that was exactly.
That's terrifying.
Are you guys roller coaster fans? Everybody here?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Absolutely.
What's the scariest roller coaster you guys have ever been on?
Wild Thing at what is it in Minnesota? I want to say it's called coasters. Valley Fair, but I'm not sure.
Her name was. Never mind.
Mine was the Griffin at Six Flags over Europe in Williamsburg, Virginia. It has like the world's highest vertical drops, like 275 feet. It's like you got like I forget how much G-force it was. And my son wanted me to go. But I got that thing. My legs were jelly. I was so full of adrenaline. Man, it was scary as hell.
I remember when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I went on one, and it's probably it wasn't that scary now that I think about it. But at the time when I was young, it was. I think I was like 10 or 11, and there was a bobsled in the bobsled one. So it's like not a track, it's just a tunnel, right? And you're sliding around. I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna fly out of this thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know, if you pick up too much, So it was called the bobsled, and it was in Dallas, Texas when I went to that one.
We took my son to Silver Dollar City a few years ago. He was 8 or 9 at the time, and he had a blast. He went on every roller coaster in the park. And when I was his age, I was a big old puss when it came to that stuff, man. That's why I say Wild Thing and Valley Fair is my immediate answer, because I was, you know, about the same age as you in that story, Danikin, about 10, 11 years old. We go on this thing and I'm like, it doesn't go upside down. It can't be that scary. Then we get up to the top of it and the thing's taller than the Tower of Doom, and it just drops you at about 85 miles an hour. And I'm, you know, at this age, 100 pounds soaking wet, you know, and I'm in this seat, like just gripping for dear life.
And then you go right into loops. Where it's like,
no more for me.
I was like, they let you hang over the edge for a little while. Then all of a sudden, blink, Like they drop you with no warning.
With no warning. Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
so scary.
I love Goliath at Six Flags, the wooden roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's a
fantastic.
Fun one. Yep. Yeah, I love those.
Some of those wooden roller coasters, man, beat you up, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're fun as hell. I love wooden roller coasters. Silver Dollar City has a couple. Where I was from in Denver, Elish Gardens had one of the oldest ones. But then, we also had simultaneously Lakeside, which is like where you went if you couldn't afford like a theme park experience. But they still had roller coasters.
What was that place, Aldo? The little amusement park? It was like Forest Park, Illinois.
Kittyland.
Yeah. There was like
North Avenue.
Yeah.
I went there many times.
Dispensus Magic Kingdom or Kitty Kingdom. Dispensus. Remember, it's like a big toy store castle. Rides and stuff.
Yeah.
Dispensus. Yeah.
Three Worlds of Santa's Village and Dundee.
Santa's Village and Dundee. Yeah.
East Dundee.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Fitz, tell us about the adventure that you had. Weeder Circle was giving out free hot dogs if Caleb got 4 touchdown passes. First of all, when did you first hear about the promotion, Weeder Circle, and tell us how you followed then the game with that in mind?
I saw that Friday when they posted it.
Okay.
I reposted it and quote tweeted it. Didn't even think much about it until the end of the game. It was like that night when I was rewatching it. I was like, wait, he's got 4, and then when I think they'd already said something about it, had already gotten out that and I went and saw the press conference afterwards. So by midnight Sunday when I was watching the rest of it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to happen. So, and then I saw, you posted about it, and then it was in the DMs about trying to get us both over there. And I'm like, yeah, I don't work Tuesday, so I'm going, so rain or shine. So you saw people like kind of boo-hooing it, like, waiting an hour for a $6 hot dog. That's a waste of time. Like, no, you're missing the point.
Exactly.
It was just a fun time. I met some new people, met some folks, some followers and stuff. It was, nice. Steve Shucker. Yes. Shout out to Steve. Had a good time with you. Nice to meet you. But it was a great time. And I think I might've been at the height of the line, the length of the line, because I was around Drummond Place, full block down to the alley back there when we got in line. That was at 12:25. I was looked at my time. By 12:55, I had my hot dog in my hand. 30
awesome.
Minutes. The entire time we were just constantly moving. It never stopped. You had people out there taking videos and everything, just talking. It was a good time. It was a nice time, and it's what Chicago does when the Bears are good.
Was that really Caleb Williams' dog that was there?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If it wasn't, then somebody had a big lie, because everyone was taking pictures of it. So I got it.
I saw it on his Instagram page, the dog's Instagram page, not Caleb's Instagram page.
So I'm like, I better get in on this, and got a little cut of him. So
did the dog? Because the dog ate a hot dog too, didn't he?
Yes.
He did not put ketchup on it, did he?
No. Okay. No, I think that was just a raw dog that he took down. So.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Aldo heard raw dog and thought something else.
Dog. Yeah, he did.
Immediately. You know me so well. Fitz, put a little video together of the experience. You want to introduce this on Fitz?
Yeah, it was just getting some highlights of the day there. It was over before I knew it. I'm like, I better get some content here. I'm not out. It's like I would be a fool not to. So I got some good content, and a lot of it. I had a pretty good day on social media yesterday. So it was just getting my daughter Andrea was with me. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yes, I did.
At the train station there. That actually got the most traction of all the stuff. Was just a picture of me and her. So like, you got to come with me every time we do these things.
Yeah. Absolutely. And she's a pretty good camera person too.
Yeah, she, that was her hand on that Tribune picture.
Yeah. We'll see it again in your video. It's 50 seconds long, so don't go anywhere.
Chicago.
Love it.
Love it. I love it.
Although I kind of like that version of the song, the fight song. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of my AI productions.
Really?
And,
Okay.
yeah, I put in, I forgot what the prompt was. I'm learning a lot that the key thing with AI is the prompt that you give the computer. And I forgot what I put in. And I was expecting a totally original song, and it came back with the old Bear Down lyrics, but a new instrumentation to it. So it's pretty cool. I said, I'll keep that one.
Yeah. The version I posted has the actual fight song on it, but we were, YouTube gets funny with copyright, so so good call on that, Aldo.
Thank you.
Just real quick, as a disclaimer to some of the folks in the chat, a hot dog is not a very attractive canine. It is, in fact, a sausage sort of meal. And in Chicago, they put mustard, relish, onion, tomato, pickle peppers, celery sauce, pork peppers on it. So with the poppy seed bun, just so everybody's aware.
What do you guys put on your hot dog? You put all that if you have an opportunity?
I do.
No relish, no pickle.
Yeah, drag it through the garden. That's what I do.
Drag it through the garden, yeah.
Nothing green. Nothing green.
No. You get the onions, the tomatoes, all of that. I want everything on it. Yeah, everything. I don't want ketchup though. Of course not. You know what I mean? You get the green relish, you get the
I'm taking an economics class right now. We're talking about complementary goods. And they say ketchup is a complementary good to a hot dog. And I said, the fuck it is. And my professor took a real exception to that one.
Do you want to know the history behind that, or should that be for another show?
I know some of it.
If I was you, I would be willing to fail that class.
Right? But this was the point that I brought up. I said, now what is a complementary good to ketchup is corn syrup, because there's more corn syrup in ketchup than tomatoes. And I went on a whole diatribe about the cost of vinegar and corn syrup if the price of ketchup goes up. So I proved my point with complementary goods while arguing the point that it is not a complementary good to a hot dog. Even though those are technically inputs and not complementary goods, blah blah blah. If my econ professor ever wants to watch this, just know that I understand the difference.
Let's talk a little more Bears before we talk some pop culture. This game against the Raiders, we talked about the importance of the game, but let's talk a little bit about the matchups. Trey Tucker is one of the hottest receivers in the NFL right now. Do you think with this depleted Bears secondary, do you think he's going to present the problem? Or you think this it's probably going to be Tyreek Stevenson up against him for most of the game? Do you think the matchup is either even or in our favor?
Let me give you all some context going into this. Prior to this week's game, Tyreek Stevenson was the worst cornerback in the NFL, allowing a perfect 156.8 rating when being thrown against. All right. Yes. However, in this most recent game against the Dallas Cowboys, with Jalen Johnson completely out of the lineup, mind you, knowing what he was game planning for. However, CeeDee Lamb did get injured in the first quarter. Keep that in mind. He had 8 targets with 2 receptions allowed, only 9 yards on those 2 receptions, 2 pass breakups, a forced fumble with a recovery, and a 39.6 QB rating when targeted. So, is this a bounce back, or is this luck of the draw because CeeDee Lamb was out and he was favored with much weaker receivers and a game plan that didn't include them?
Stevenson, to me, has always had the ability. It's just always been, the head game with him. Is he going to be up for the challenge? Is he going to play? I mean, the problem is there. I mean, you've got another talented receiver, so it could be it is a challenge. Do we get games 1 through 4 of last year, Tariq Stevens, prior to the Washington game last year, where he was, starting to really have an identity for himself? Or are we going to get, that 10-game losing streak, Tyreek Stevenson? I would hope that last week motivated him to just keep going. Like, he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. Like, no one thinks that he can do this, and everyone's, pulling against him. I think he plays better mad. And if he has that attitude going in, like, everyone is doubting me, I think he could give us a similar game. Whether it's a guy like CeeDee Lamb or whoever's on the other side, he's got the ability, he's got the talent. It's just a matter of just having that motivation and the mentality every game.
Yeah, George Pickens was a good matchup for Tyreek Stevenson. You know, Trey Tucker's those little speedy guys. Those are the guys that Tyreek, I'm afraid, struggles with a little bit. Those really fast little guys. You know, that's Trey Tucker. You know, his game, really fast, not the biggest guy, shifty, got deep speed. Mm-hmm. That's gonna give Tyreek Stevenson maybe a little trouble. We'll see. Maybe he picks it up here and stuff. Like, he can be physical with George Pickens. You know.
Yeah,
that was a decent matchup for him.
This is where I think the Bears need to take advantage of the Raiders' lack of a run defense. I mean, we need a couple of those double-digit play drives so we don't have to worry about their offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, or he could get that shootout everybody was looking for last week. And
I hope not. I don't want to see a shootout.
No.
Please, I want to. But when it comes to Tyreek Stevenson, you know, I look at Tyreek Stevenson and I say, okay, he's got talent, he's got this, he got some of the things that you see that you like in a cornerback. Of course, he's also got a little bit of the bravado that you want to have. A lot of guys on the outside that play cornerback, they need to have that type of mentality in order to be successful out there. Here's the problem, though, right? Here's the thing. When we look at Tyreek Stevenson, we got to look at who he's going up against, who he's playing against. He started out, you know what I mean, going against Minnesota and Justin Jefferson, 1,500-yard receiver, you know what I mean? Then you bring in Detroit, and Detroit, of course, they were shell-shocked week one. I knew they were going to bounce back and they were going to have an explosive game going against their old coach in Ben Johnson. So you knew they were going to be locked in. You got to think about these types of things when we're talking about who they're going against.
Context.
You know, yeah, you got to look at Detroit's wide receivers. They're good. They're fast. They're you know, they do everything. They can go across the middle. They can do all these different things. So Tyreek he had his hands full in both of those games. Even in his third game against Dallas, your hands are still full because you're still dealing with CeeDee Lamb if he didn't get hurt, and of course George Pickens. So and then to be at a disadvantage because your defensive line at the time is not really holding up. Think about it. If you're not getting pressure on the quarterback, nobody's going to hold up. No cornerback is going to hold up for 8-9 seconds while the quarterback stands back there and pats the ball. So in order for Tyreek Stevenson to be successful, the rest of the team has to also be. This is why it's the ultimate team sport. You know what I mean? Like everybody has to play their role. The defensive line has to get after the quarterback in order to put pressure on him so that he makes quicker decisions or whatever he has to do, speed up his internal clock, and then he'll make mistakes. Tyreek Stevenson is instinctual player, right? Like I said at the beginning, that strip that he had was an instinct play. That was not thinking. That was just, I'm just going to go get the ball. You know what I mean? A lot of players wouldn't even think that way, but he does.
Javonte Williams was pounding us.
Exactly.
He's a load, man.
He's
after that
tough.
play, they kind of broke him a little bit. And they got away from the run. They started to fall behind. They had to pass more.
Exactly.
You know, but I mean, it's that bad defense, offensive line of the Cowboys. We got 5 sacks. We should get 5 sacks against that line. We'll see. We should get some sacks against the Raiders' offensive line.
Absolutely.
It's the good lines like the Lions where we struggled not getting any sacks.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are bringing up the name of Brock Bowers. Of course, you know, he's a
good player,
budding superstar in this league. He did practice today. This guy could present a big-time problem to the Bears linebackers and defensive backs. Anybody have a take on Bowers they want to share?
Tremaine Edmonds is coming off of a career game, and I think that's going to do a lot for his confidence. He matches up very well, speed and size-wise, with the tight end. It's just going to depend on how the scheme goes for this week, and I'm sure that he's being highlighted. Brock Bowers, that is being highlighted in the Bears' defensive game plan. There's no way he's not, because realistically, you have to plan for 3 guys in this entire matchup. You have to plan for Bowers, you have to plan for Jeanty, and you have to plan for Crosby. Right? Those are your top 3 players if you're formulating a game plan. And so figure out how to stop those guys. You assign 1 linebacker to Jeanty, you assign 1 linebacker to Bowers, depending on, you know, lineups, formations, directionality, and all that. And from there, you kind of just got to roll the dice and hope for the best. But I think confidence goes a long way. These guys are coming off of a big win. Again, Edmonds coming off of a career game. I think he had something like 16 tackles, 2 interceptions. Like,
it was a Bears state of affairs. Where were you?
I was looking up the last time the Bears threw a flea flicker, and I couldn't find it.
What is the flea flicker, man?
You got me on a one-track mind, man.
I mean, TJ Edwards. I don't know when he's coming back, but Noah Soulz has played really well in his place since
Soulz been great.
Yeah, since we haven't missed much, but it'll be interesting to see what TJ Edwards, if he uplifts the defense, lifts up the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Steven Zimmerman has put together a pretty nice video.
Well, before we go to the song,
please.
What did Fitz give the Wiener Circle on the Fitzometer? Because I need to know. Free glizzies matter.
Can I take a guess real quick? Because it's a standard Vienna hot dog drag through the garden, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like a bottom line 300, right?
Well, yeah, but it's all about the experience too.
But it was free.
Okay,
how many points does free add to it? It's got to be worth like 50.
Well, free. We're no longer talking batting average now. We're talking on base percentage. It was free.
It's like a walk.
See, I have a video. I reviewed them about a year ago. Was 317. I gave them, but that day, yesterday, that was a Frank Thomas MVP season 347.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
That was just the whole thing. I mean, the way that they were ready. I mean, they were just handing out hot dogs. If you wanted something else, you went over here and they cursed your head off. But if you were just up there for the hot dog,
you get the full drag through the garden too,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
It was. Here you go. Take off what you don't want, and they were ready. It was
great. I'm guessing they didn't accommodate like someone like me. No pickles, no pickles,
they
no
did.
relish.
You just had to go off to the side and feel the wrath of the people.
Sam is a ketchup on a hot dog guy, right?
Fuck no. I don't put ketchup on anything. Ketchup doesn't exist in my house.
I found that video, Fitz. Let me play it real quick. The one that you did a year ago.
Okay, all right, nice.
Hold on, I will.
Look at this. Aldo's ready with
a little different. I was still playing around with my format back then.
The cha-cha shimmy, the wow-wow shimmy, the how-how shimmy, the now-now shimmy, the woo.
Yeah, I was just, playing around with things.
Mr. Chow, you finally hitched. That was a wedding that I wouldn't miss. The mood was perfect, the music was great. I didn't care that I didn't have a date. Wow. Turn it all around now.
Okay.
Now.
311, all right.
That's my Millie Rock. Help me up in Brooklyn, cause I gotta make a stop. Slide.
Excellent. Very nice.
311 for a char dog, I think, is a perfect. I think that's an above average score. You take a Vienna dog and it's automatically like a 300 because it's good, but it's not amazing.
Yep.
It's so standard baseline good.
Mm-hmm.
You can oversteam them though, and they turn white.
Right. You oversteam them, you overchar them.
Best
you
kosher
gotta cook
is
them
awful
right.
good too. Best kosher dog. They serve those at Wrigley.
Oh, yeah.
Fitz, did you get good service in terms of did they yell at you, call you names and stuff? Because they're known for that.
Yeah, thank God they were pretty easy on me. And I think it's because I had my daughter with me. Every time I'm there with her, she brings a smile to their face. They're smiling at us. So,
no, it's because they recognized you, man. They were like, no, that dude, yeah. He's on bar room. He's on bar room. He's on Burger Souls. We don't want to mess this up. We don't want to mess this up.
Have they always made fun of the customers?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's why you bring a human shield.
Was Ed Dubevic's a Levy restaurant too?
Yes. Ed the Bevix had the same.
Yeah, that's what I was
customer service,
asking. Yeah,
but
they would
different
make fun of you
ownership.
and stuff. Okay, and then Manny's Cafeteria, also those guys
That's
will make
right.
fun of you too.
That's right.
Has Fitz ever reviewed Manny's?
I have not reviewed Manny's.
Have you eaten there before?
Yes, I have.
Oh yeah,
Yes, I have, yes.
that's oh man, it's so good. The pastrami there is like
Oh, yeah.
otherworldly. It's
Yeah.
like not even in the same dimension. I don't know. I think they get it from like the fourth dimension to bring it here.
I go back and forth on doing the places that like everybody knows. I always try to find things that you might not have heard of, or it's just sort of like its own, just not the ones that everyone's done.
Yeah.
But
are real popular in the neighborhood.
Yeah, real pop. Yeah, definitely. So I go back and forth on that. So
all right, let's rock with some Zim now, huh?
Yes,
I love it. All right, so Zim, you want to introduce this?
Yeah,
it's so good.
Take my opportunity in the spotlight to give you my quick tweet of the week. My tweet of the week comes from First Round Mock. This app is going to melt when Matt Eberflus. This app is going to melt when Matt Eberflus shuts down Caleb Williams today. Posted before the game on Sunday.
Man, I'm glad you saved that. I missed that one.
We've got to respond to that. It's not too late to respond to that.
Oh, the best response I've found is per ESPN research, Spencer Rattler is the first quarterback to lose each of his first 9 career starts since Deshaun Kaiser.
Deshaun Kaiser, former Notre Damer.
For those who don't know, First Round Mock is an adamant supporter of Spencer Rattler and an adamant hater of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
He thinks that Caleb Williams is a certified guaranteed bust in the league. And Spencer Rattler was his QB1 in that draft class. In that potentially historic draft class, Spencer Rattler was his guy.
He says he was a former Jet scout, I think. I don't remember what his actual name is. Yeah, I think it's just a crazy person that thought he was a scout.
He was a scouting assistant in the 90s. His most accomplished draft pick at any position was Chad Pennington. So take that for what it is.
And Spencer Rattler was unseated and lost his job at Oklahoma to who? Caleb Williams.
No. That was because of the boosters.
Probably.
Ask Justin Fields about the boosters. All right.
Tell us about your song.
So my song. All right. So this week, featuring styles of the Rat Pack, of swing, of that era that defined Las Vegas, right? We think of Las Vegas now, and I was debating between show tunes. I was debating between like classic rock with all the acts that seem to retire there, particularly 80s bands. And I was like, look, the 50s and 60s was what made Las Vegas. The guys who are hiring the Rat Pack are the guys who built the city. So let's pay some homage there. I wrote this song in the style. I did what I could to feed in some melodies, but AI really kind of took over on this one. I don't have a defense for it this week because I just massaged it until it gave me what I wanted. Whereas in other weeks, I will sing it and then give it the lyrics, or I will play guitar and give it the lyrics or whatever. I always write the lyrics. I will say that, but I unfortunately did not have as much hands-on input as I would have liked this week. I still think it turned out great. It is, in my opinion, the second best song I've put together this season. So,
did you write these lyrics?
I won.
He's got a hard rockin' soul. He's the long-haired guy on Bare Their Souls.
Did you write those?
No, you did.
Oh. All right. So without further ado, do you have a title for this song? I'm calling it the Vegas song.
I called it Swinging into Vegas. I didn't have much to, yeah.
All right. Well, here it is.
It's a brand new day. What a hell of a game. turn your spirits round, because our offense has been found. Those struggles were just a fluke, or maybe it's thanks to Eberflus. Either way, a win's a win. We owe it to Ben Johnson. Boys, let's head to Vegas. It was a hell of a night. Let's put it all on black and show those Raiders a good time. I'm not a gambling man, but this week I think I am. It might only be one win, but it hit like heroin. Touchdown, galore. Rome and Caleb want some more. Gino wants to throw to Trey. Not if Tyreek gets his way. A get right game was all it took. Now Dennis and Ben can open their books. God, I hope I'm right, or it'll be a damn long night. Boys, let's head to Vegas. Yes, it was a hell of a night. Let's put it all on black and show those Raiders a good time. I'm not a gambling man, but this week I think I am. It might only be one win, but it hit like heroin. Boys, let's head to Vegas. Yeah, it was a hell of a night. It was a hell of a night. Let's put it all on black and show those Raiders a good time. I'm not a gambling man, but this week I think I am. It might only be one win, but it hit like heroin.
Man, that was so effing good, man. The video and the music. The video was fucking awesome too, man. It was so good.
No, I was thinking Harry
Man,
Connick
it's so
Jr.
funny.
I was thinking Harry Connick Jr. singing that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Yes.
That's what's up, man. I like that one.
Hey,
That was dope.
you sent me that, so I had it on my phone, and then I downloaded it to my computer so I could do the video. And so I was working.
So
Just
good.
before the show, I ran out to get a quick bite to eat, and I get into the car, and my car was set up to play whatever was on my phone, and so that song popped up again. And I'm like grooving to it, going through the drive-through. People are like, "Yeah, what are you listening to?" Oh, it's a great song.
The video was
Outstanding work.
fantastic too, although it's so
Thank you.
funny. It's so funny.
Caleb Williams doing a
Yeah,
dance.
that was funny.
That was
That was
Dennis
hilarious.
Allen saxophone.
Ben and Dennis Allen on
That was
saxophone.
Dennis
That
Allen on
great, man. Fantastic.
Oh, good
Oh,
stuff.
man.
All
So,
right.
For anybody looking for that song, just real quick, for anybody looking
Sure.
for that song, Suno is updating to their newest whatever. It's not on the playlist yet, so I have not updated the playlist at this point. I will have it hopefully next week for you, and eventually, like I say, at the end of the season, hopefully we'll take it all. We'll put it on Spotify so everybody can listen to it through Suno. You can download it as well to your personal devices, so you don't have to be connected to the internet to listen to it. But yeah, we'll continue to supply that as the season goes on. Just right now, again, with them in their transition period, I don't have it at the moment. We will get it hopefully next week.
Outstanding. And one of the
Yeah,
things
we
that
go.
I wanted to tell people, Suno has a free version too, where you can do, I don't know what it is, 10 songs a month or whatever. And so if anybody wants to do a Bears song using the free Suno app, which is suno.com, and you want to produce a song, we'll play it here. I
Yes.
want to do a music special where we play some of the songs that we've all done for the bar room over the years, and I've been trying to talk to Dan Aguirre with his radio voice to come in and host it for us. We'll see if he can pull that off for us. But
like a radio station.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, a whole
with Dan
radio
Aguirre
session?
as the
Yes.
disc jockey. That would be
Nice.
I
fantastic.
tell you what, we can set up the basement garage for an acoustic session, even if we wanted to.
Mhm. And I promised to bring back the Weather Girl. Do I have her look?
You had it for tonight?
Oh man, she was up there
No,
last week, right? Or
yeah.
the week before.
I must have lost it. Yeah,
How
she
you lose that?
You're right.
Last week too. I think we need a no weather jar, no weather girl jar every time Aldo forgets the weather.
That's right. $20 in there.
Drop a 20 in the jar.
Why don't you guys transition to pop culture? I'll try to find the video, and
I need you on the pop culture to talk some task.
I'm no good at transitioning. You're gonna have to talk to my ex about that.
Whoa.
Oh, you want to tell us that story?
No, I don't. I just want to know, in what world do you think being queer and moving to the deep south is going to solve your problems?
No.
Okay.
All right, Fitz, you are good at transitions.
So, are we talking our top 3 favorite shows of all time? Or what?
Yes. Okay, so first of all, Task is on HBO, and it is a fantastic show. We'll
great.
talk about it more in depth. But episode 3, which aired this past weekend, I thought was one of the best episodes I've ever seen of any series.
Fantastic.
Sopranos, The Wire, and so forth. They've all had great single episodes, multiple episodes that could be considered all-time greats. So I asked the guys, show up to today's show with an idea of what some of your favorite episodes from whatever show. I don't care if it's a Leave It to Beaver episode or Game of Thrones, whatever it is. And it looks like Fitz took the assignment seriously. So the stage is yours, Fitz.
Okay, well, geez, okay. So I'm more of the sitcom person. You know, I've started to get into some dramas. Like, I just started watching The Wire for the first time. Okay, I just started season 2, and it's really great. You know, so, but like Sopranos, I'm not a Sopranos fan. Sorry, but you know, that's Breaking Bad I did enjoy. In fact, Breaking Bad, that's like the last 4 episodes of that were like, to me, were like perfect. Perfect way to end that series. So it's kind of like just a combination of those, because I thought it just ended perfectly for a series. There wasn't any. If you felt good, it was along with feeling bad too. There was not, you kind of liked the way he went out, but it's still, I mean, he died, he got shot. So, but I like the way that ended. So it's like a combination of those, or just, I kind of take it as one, just from everything from the brother-in-law to, you've got Jesse, the things going on with him. And then to Walter at the end, the way he just gets everybody in his way that has ever wronged him over the last 3 years or 2 years or whatever it was. So that's one of them. So I guess 4 episodes, and the next 2 are from sitcoms, and they're just from I'm showing my age here, but one is from The Simpsons. I hope everybody's still fine. That. Okay. Oh, yeah. From season 2, which I think season 2 of The Simpsons is one of the best seasons just of any show, anytime, any genre. The writing is great. It's just perfect. Conan O'Brien was still writing for them at the time. And so my pick from that season is Homer versus Lisa and the Eighth Commandment. This is the one where Homer steals cable. Okay. And Lisa is that, that angel on his shoulder that is making him feel guilty the whole time. He's trying, and it touches on so many issues. Like, you're going back and forth with just the morality. Like, if everybody else is doing it, is it really wrong? And you've got Lisa there asking him, I really still think this is stealing. And his response is, well, did you pay for breakfast that you ate today? He's like, no. Well, did you pay for those clothes that are on your back? And she goes, no. And his response to his little 2nd grade daughter is, well, run for the hills, Ma Barker. Look out for the feds. I mean, it's classic Homer. I think it's just classic Simpsons humor. It's where you have one joke that just goes on for about 5-10 minutes. And it touches on the morality. You know, Bart gets caught watching porn and he gets in trouble for it. And he responds like, well, you're stealing the cable that I'm watching here. So it's like, it did everything that, you know, that I thought that the Simpsons really did well over the first decade of just touching on social issues, touching on moral issues, and still being a riot. So that's my next one. And my last one is from the show, The Wonder Years. You guys remember that with Fred Savage?
I love that band.
Yeah.
Oh, the show. Sorry, no.
Oh, the ending was great too. You know, what'd you say, Zim?
I said I love that band. There's a band called
the
Wonder
band.
Years that I am in love with.
Okay. No, and there's an episode in season 1. It's like the 3rd episode. It's my father's office where he's wondering what his dad does. Now, the reason I really love this show is I was the same age as Kevin Arnold. I mean, it starts when he goes into middle school and progresses through when he graduates high school. And that was, I started watching in 7th grade, and the last year was my senior year. So many of it just hit home with me the whole time. And especially this one, it was like, he wanted to know what his dad did. So his dad takes him out of school, takes him to the office, and he sees what his dad does. And, you know, as somebody who, you know, my dad was a pastor, so he didn't go into an office. But I went with him a lot of times, like when he was making hospital visits. So it just really touched me that way, just because, and it was well written. There's some funny parts, but just, it's one of those things that I never forget that one. That was, you know, 30, almost 40 years ago now. And it still rings true. Just that kid wanting to know what his dad does, you know, and they dig into that. So those are my 3.
Yeah. No, I love it. I'll take it as a jumping off point because you mentioned sitcoms, and I am also very much of a sitcom watcher and a cartoon watcher. And, you know, I really took this one seriously, and I was thinking of like my favorite shows and what made them good. And to me, like the finales of so many of these shows is what wrapped them up so well with these characters that you grow to love and care about, even though it's a comedy show. And like they're obviously parodies and what's the word I'm looking for? But they're exaggerations of normal life. They're not actual people, but that's what makes shows to me like Parks and Rec and 30 Rock and Community and, you know, sitcoms along those lines so good. But you mentioned The Simpsons, which is what got me thinking, because one of my favorite episodes is also a Matt Groening show, but not The Simpsons. It's Futurama. And to me, it's season 2, Jurassic Bark.
That's season 4, because that was one of mine too, though.
Well, so it's Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is one, and Luck of the Fryrish is the other one that always gets me. Where Futurama is so good, and they did it. They just renewed the show on Hulu last year for a few more seasons, and they immediately came out of the woodworks and did it again. And I'm upset that I don't know the title, but Futurama is the show where you'll be watching and you'll be laughing and you'll be watching and you'll be laughing and you'll be watching and you'll be laughing, and then all of a sudden you're crying and you're like, what the hell just happened? And
that show was nominated for an Emmy that episode.
It was. But yeah, Jurassic Bark and Luck of the Fryrish, 2 amazing episodes. For those who don't know, one of them, so for greater context of the show, because I feel like anybody who doesn't know has never seen the show. For context of the show, it's a man who freezes himself in the year 2000 and wakes up in the year 3000. Everybody he knows and loves has died, and he lives in New York City, where he also grew up. Because New York City apparently still exists in 1,000 years, and it's him adapting to life.
It's new New York, though.
Right, that's true. Because old New York is underground in the sewers. But yeah, so he's adapting to life, you know, in this new world where he weirdly fits in more than he ever did back in his old life. And while exploring or whatever in New York, he finds the remains of his old dog from when he was alive in the year 1999 and 2000. And it takes a trip down memory lane, And it comes to ahead basically with him coming to terms with the fact that his dog lived a life and moved on without him. And I won't spoil the end of the show because that is not the end of the episode, but he comes to terms with the fact that his dog moved on without him. And it's about the loyalty of man's best friend. So for somebody who's truly not really a dog person, it hit home for me. It even hard considering I'm not a dog person, which is just insane that a show could do that. And then The Luck of the Friarish is another one where it goes on where he moves into the future and thinks one thing about his family and the way they lived their lives after he left and was frozen, and it turns out they lived an entirely different way and in such a way to commemorate him. And just it makes you appreciate that you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone, and you never know what's on that other side of that wall. So don't take advantage of it too soon. So now getting into a more serious show, as I'm sure some of you guys will pick dramas, particularly HBO shows. My absolute top episode of Game of Thrones, one of the greatest shows of all time, I think. Many people select The Red Wedding, and to me, The Red Wedding was just a plot point. I don't consider The Red Wedding a great episode. I consider the Red Wedding a great plot point of necessity to facilitate the story. To me, the Battle of the Bastards is the absolute climax of that show. It does not get better than that. That is the moment where that show jumped the shark because they blew their whole wad on that episode and it was all downhill from there. It was so good. That is a 10 out of 10 episode to me. It is everything you've been rooting for with Jon Snow and everything you've been rooting against with Ramsay Bolton coming to a head in one singular moment that you can point to, and it makes it all tangible. And the guy you want to win nearly loses. And it's so good. And I don't know. I was not much of a fan of the Mother of Dragons and all that. To me, it's always been the story of Jon Snow and his success. So that was the whole show to me. After that, I couldn't keep with it very much. I was like, that's it. They shot it off. They're done. It's not getting better than that.
Did you feel it at that moment?
The moment, man. The moment, like
that was pretty cool.
Did you feel that was as far as it was going to get at that moment? Like, did you feel like it couldn't get any better from there?
I distinctly remember in that moment, the first time I watched it, seeing him grab the sword and set up in front of the opposing army and just be ready. I was like,
a great shot.
He lives or dies right here. This is it. This is Jon Snow epitomizing himself as a person, as a hero, as a folklore figure in this universe. Like, this is what makes him him. If he wins, he has the people in the palm of his hand for the rest of his life. And if he loses, he is a folk hero. He is
martyr,
King Arthur of his time, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Like, that is like, to me, like the moment that like, as a man, you like live for, to be able to put yourself on stake and stand for everything you believe in against an army of everything that's against you and hope that the troops rally in your favor. I don't know. It just, it hit me in such a way that I was like, damn, that's good.
Good stuff. Daniken, what do you got?
Man, I got a couple. It was hard for me to pick, right? I was gonna go with Game of Thrones because I love Game of Thrones as well. But I just couldn't pick. There was too many episodes that I really liked.
Yeah,
I couldn't pick one. I did like the one episode where Tyrion Lannister he did the speech or whatnot. That was a good episode to me. I really enjoyed that one. But I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna throw that one out there. Just Game of Thrones as in general. I mean, there's so many of them to me. Then I'm gonna go with The Unit. Right, The Unit is a show it's one of my favorite shows. I enjoyed this show. And I'm gonna go with the first episode. is where they there was a plane that was like hijacked or whatever, and they came in, they parachuted in and like put everybody down on the plane that needed to be put down. And it was from that point when I first saw that show. From that moment, I liked that show. It was similar to what's the other show? It had a great opening as well. Where oh man,
HBO show.
Yeah, no, it's a not an HBO show, but it's man, I'm forgetting the name of the guy. It'll come to me in a minute, but basically it had me hooked from jump. Right, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like this show. I already know I am. You know what I mean? And it just continued to get better and better and better. That's what the unit did to me. That's what the other show did. What's the guy's name that was man? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this. This is irritating me right now.
What was he in before? Give us a clue.
Let me see. Okay,
we want to help you.
Okay, so he was basically doing the drug dealing. He was handling the money for the drug dealers.
Oh,
for the cartel. No. For the cartel in Mexico, he was being sucked into it over and over and over and over, deeper and deeper and deeper. Right, him and his family. Ozark. Yeah, the Ozark.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah,
easy,
Ozark's
right?
fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic
Wonderful.
show.
But that first episode, man, where he's walking up to the building and somebody gets thrown out of the building.
Yeah,
I
his
was
law
like,
partner.
I'm watching this show.
Partner, yeah.
I'm watching it from now on. I'm not gonna miss an episode. That's how I looked at it. And then there's the third one that I was looking at is The Office, right? And it's the episode of The Office. It's just a funny show to me. I love The Office.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Episode 14 of season 5, I think it is, and it's called Stress Relief. Well, Dwight does a fire drill without anybody's knowledge of it, right? And the beginning of it was hilarious. Where people throwing stuff out the windows.
Barely have a heart attack.
Threw a cat up in the ceiling. It fell out the bottom of the other side of the ceiling. It was hilarious. It was just a hilarious part of the show. I love that episode very much.
Good stuff.
Fantastic.
All right, I think Tooch and I are going to talk about Task. Let me set up the series, Tooch, and then maybe you can talk a little bit about episode 3.
Yeah.
Is that fair? All right.
Yeah.
So Task is a story about a task force, an FBI task force that has been formed. Mark Ruffalo plays a embattled grizzly FBI agent who is having some personal problems because his stepson shot his wife. So he's dealing with that whole demon.
He pushed her down the stairs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry. And so he's dealing with that demon, but also handling this case, which a bunch of guys are going to drug houses and stealing money. And so, so you got the case itself, and he is appointed, 3 agents. One is a cop, a very inexperienced cop. Another one is a county sheriff with some more experience, and a third person who is a very detailed investigator. And so there's all these interesting personalities pursuing the gang that has been stealing this drug money. Now, there's also the lives of these, the personal lives of all of these characters, which introduces a great layer of texture to the storytelling. The filmmaker and creator showrunner behind it is the same person who did Mayor of Easttown with Kate Winslet, which was also another outstanding HBO series. So it's got that same feel of rich storytelling. Yep. So at episode 3 was so impressive to me because so many things came together, and good series keep moving the storyline forward. They don't take a left-hand turn here and all of a sudden there's an episode about 2 characters. I'm thinking about Walking Dead. 2 characters are in a farmhouse and it's just going all over the place. No, this is the central story. Keep working on that. Keep moving those stories forward. And that episode 3 was tremendous. Tooch, Take it away.
Yeah, it really crystallized the vision of kind of you're seeing why are these people, what is motivating these people, and
Yes.
if you step back from the FBI task force story, it's and the robbers hitting these drug houses, it's really the story of two broken families. One is the Mark Ruffalo's family, he adopted two kids. They had a daughter, him and his wife. They decided to adopt two kids from a troubled home, and a sister and a brother. And the brother grows up and unfortunately kills his wife by pushing her down the stairs. He had anger issues, mental issues, and he was off of his medication for it. And the other story is the other family. I don't want to give too much away because Robbie is the garbage man, and him and his friends, they pick up the garbage of these drug houses, and they go through and they get they're definitely making drugs. Let's hit this house. And you see Robbie, his brother was killed. You don't put it all together. In the beginning, the show starts off with a man being tortured by a gang, and you find out, of course, that was his brother, and why he's doing all of this.
Right.
So it's two broken families. His wife left him after his brother was killed, and he lives in his brother's house with his niece, who now owns the house. And she basically takes care of his two young kids.
Yep.
And he's having emotional problems. His wife has just left him. So you see this vision of these two families. And the thing is it makes you root for both fathers. You're rooting for the home invader because of his past,
yes.
And you're rooting for the FBI agent because he used to be a priest and he's a good person,
yes.
And he's dedicated to his job and stuff. And you really are. It's the best show on television. I know I said Alien Earth, but this one is really like Aldo said. Episode 3 knocks you over the head.
It is rich.
Take a look, man. It is very rich storytelling. All the characters are so well drawn. Episode 2 made me so nervous when Maeve was in the car with little Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And they were about to get caught by the police, and she talks to her. I was like biting every single finger because I wanted Maeve to get away, But yeah, there's so many good things I don't want to give away too much, man. And, all of the characters are well developed. They're all very fleshed out. Even like the side characters have motivations.
Yes,
well,
indeed.
Perfectly scripted, perfectly acted.
Indeed. Tooch, do you got a favorite episode that you want to share with people outside of Task?
Well, I also had Jurassic Park too, which Zim mentioned from Futurama, which I love too. It's like he got frozen for 1,000 years. His dog was waiting for him to come back forever. He would sit on the street waiting. It was so sad, but it was so good. It's one of those episodes that kind of hits you with the emotional meaning of life type. Hits you in the feelies. And then, of course, Aldo mentioned The Red Wedding, which is an episode of Game of Thrones called The Reigns of Castamere, which when you saw it, you're just like, holy shit.
It was
like, what happened, man? Everything's gone.
Indeed.
And then my other one is called Last Day on Earth, and it's season 6, episode 16 of The Walking Dead, where Negan has everybody in a circle. And my body was filled with adrenaline for that. Yes. I didn't know who was going to get hit over the head with his bat Lucille, or is that the name of his bat Lucille? I think it was the name of his bat.
I think.
And you're just like, you love all these characters you followed for 6 seasons. And one of them is going to die, and it's like so brutal and horrible, and the tension is so intense.
Yep.
After that episode, man, I was so full of adrenaline, and I couldn't calm down.
Yeah.
I got to wait, a year for the next after the cliffhanger, because they don't tell you who died.
Yep.
And I'm like guessing, and everybody all off season, everyone was guessing who was dead. Which was it? Was it Glenn? Was it Bob? That was a fantastic episode. I never felt like that before in a TV show.
That villain, if you're going to make a list of all-time villains, that Negan villain in The Walking Dead is one of the best. He walks around
Jeffrey
with
Dean
a bat
Morgan.
that's got nails in it, and he's just
barbed wire.
Covered
in barbed wire and nails.
That's it. Yeah. I won't give a favorite episode, but I just quickly, because I know we're running out of time here. I saw the Netflix Charlie Sheen documentary. It's a 2-parter about his life. It is really entertaining. It's like watching a car crash. You know, and he gives away so many details about his drug habits and what he did to his wife and kids, his relationship with his famous father, Martin Sheen, and how much of an influence it was being on the set of Apocalypse Now. And then he does a movie called Platoon and stuff. It connects a lot of dots so that you can see how the demons were born in this guy. And he talks about him having sex with other men because, you know, he was doing crack cocaine and he just wanted to explore different, as he puts it, I flipped the other side of the sex menu and there were things on there that said, hey, I want to try that. And so, I mean, he reveals a lot. The only problem that I had with him is that he talks about all this pain that he created in his family and with his ex-wives and his kids and so forth. And there's never a scene where he shows any contrition that or remorse that sounds authentic to me. It's all like, you know, I can't find the right word, but it's all like I'm doing this for sensationalistic purposes because it's a documentary of my life and I want to look really cool and stuff. As you know, as opposed to really, really feeling bad. That I mean, what he did to his family and close friends was, in my mind, in some cases, unforgivable. But I suggest you watch it. I think you'll find it enjoyable and make a determination on Charlie whether he deserves our forgiveness as fans or not. You guys, any of you guys see anything recently that you want to share with the people?
No, I was paying attention to that show Task yesterday. So I watched the first two episodes. I watched the first two. I'm gonna watch the third one tonight.
Man, the third one is so good. It's like unbelievably good. I can't wait to see where it goes. I saw the Fantastic Four movie, which was okay.
That's what I've heard.
The new one. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of almost a comedy. Kind of this like lackadaisical 1950s, early 60s type feel. You know, like kind of like if you were watching a superhero story set in the world of Mad Men. You know, but it was all right. It was okay.
Fitz, I heard a little bit of what you said. I'm sorry I had to load some stuff on there. You're a big comedy fan, huh?
Yeah, sitcoms. Yeah, two of my favorites were from sitcoms, from old sitcoms. You know, second season of The Simpsons and Wonder Years, first season. So that was 88. Like I was saying, that one just
Wonder Years is great.
Wonder, yeah, I was the same age as Fred. I'm the same age as Fred Savage. The whole thing. So it just and Dan Lauria as the father. You know, he's one of the more underappreciated actors because every time he does something, everybody praises him. But as soon as he does something, you forget it. You know, as soon as he does something else. So. He's not underrated because he always gets praised, but you always just forget about him. And also, fun fact about that show, the narrator was Daniel Stern of Home Alone fame. He was Marv, Joe Pesci's sidekick. So yeah, that was a great show.
He was also the voice on the Wonder Years as the older, the shows.
Yeah, he's the narrator. The
narrator. There you go.
He's Kevin Arnold, older. Yes. So, yeah, just a great show.
Fitz, do you have any more recent sitcoms that you watch? I'm also a sitcom enjoyer, and I'm just curious what you kind of throw on either as a comfort show or something that you're currently watching.
Office. I love The Office.
Okay.
You know, and
Parks and Rec.
I love Modern Family.
Okay.
I could watch. Yeah, I love those episodes. I think the favorite episode there is, I can't. His name, the old man on there. He's not old man. I just drawing a blank. It was his birthday, and he go.
I'm not the only one.
Okay, it was
just contagious.
He goes out for his birthday, and they take him fishing, and he ends up in the water, and and his friends are telling him about, you know, planting gardens and his retirement and everything, and his wife ends up pregnant, and you know he's 65, and he's about to have a son, and she thinks that it's going to be awful, and to tell him this, and he's like, "No, that's the best thing I've ever heard today." You know, like I was looking at my life up until now, and I didn't like what was going to happen. And I love that show. That's a funny one. The Office is good. 30 Rock, you know, that one's good. Parks and Rec, you know, those. Yeah, I'm into the more modern ones too. So yeah, especially that 70s show. I think that might be next to The Simpsons.
Fantastic show.
Yeah, that's a great show.
Parks and Recs. One of my favorite episodes of that is where what's his name got beat up at the park or whatever. Didn't really get beat up. He actually fell into the river trying to grab a burrito or something like that.
Yeah, Jerry.
That
Jerry
was hilarious. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah. And it was hilarious because the worker, the parks guy that you know, the guy that cleans up, he's so loud, yelling, screaming the whole time. And so when he comes into the office and they're talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, what's going on, everybody?" And he's like in the in the next room or whatever. It's hilarious. That show
Chris Pratt on that show is hilarious. It's one of my favorite gags in any show, and it's such a throwaway line. But he got written off the show because he went to go do Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And the way they wrote him off was he was in England helping some bureaucrat over there, and then they go to visit him. And they say, "Wow, man, you've lost a lot of weight. You've really gotten in shape. What'd you do?" And he goes, "I stopped drinking beer." And they go, "How much beer were you drinking?" And that's the whole joke. And it's such a throwaway, and it's so easy to miss. But it was just like, it gets me every time.
Hey, years ago when we started Bare Their Souls, it was Dan Aguirre and myself, and as Zim, I think, mentioned in last week's episode, when it was after the show, Dan was very, very revealing about the things in his personal life and so forth. And we had a lot of fun with that on the show. And one of the things that he encouraged me to do was to bring in a barroom weather lady. And so we haven't done it in a while. And so, and by the way, Dan Aguirre sent me this really cool T-shirt.
That's nice.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
So in dedication, this was something I actually put together last week. Daniken, I showed you this, and who else was with us after the show? Zim. So you guys didn't see this version, so take a look at it. It's 45 seconds, and I hope Fitz's mom is asleep by now.
Hi, Barroom. When I look across the nation, there's going to be some areas that are really hot. It's not just me, right? I'm a professional meteorologist, and I can predict you're probably liking what you see. There are parts of the country that will be very wet. There's a jet stream expected in the Midwest, and maybe in your pants. Out west, the sun is rising, and I bet it's the only thing rising right now. That's the weather across the USA. For week 2, for Bare Their Souls, I'm Belita Osorio.
There you go. That's our barroom weather lady for the week.
Right.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
Wonderful.
Left Fitz speechless.
What do you say?
Yeah, what do you say? You say, wow. You say, wow. Zim, is Brittany up? Is she watching?
Nope.
He's not saying anything. Does she watch the show on replay?
Nope.
You won't let her?
No, she just doesn't give a shit about the Bears. I upset her enough talking about them. She doesn't need to watch all 5 of us get upset about it.
We should get all of our women, the important women in our life, together for a podcast. What would they talk about? Fitz, if we were to bring your daughter or your wife onto a show, would they want to talk about funny sitcoms or anything else?
My wife is watching Blind Spot right now. That's her show.
I don't know that one.
I think it was on ABC, like 2015 for about 6 seasons.
Okay.
She's into that right now. And she's into the like Love Island and all those shows. So I watch those kind of. I like watching The Bachelor, that series with her, those programs. But when
Golden Bachelor just starting.
Yeah, they got Bachelor, the Golden one coming up. But
right.
The other ones, like what I can't remember. They're all the same to me. That's just.
Bachelor in Paradise, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Those are all the different franchises. Golden Bachelor.
But like the ones on Netflix, like they get really racy on those.
Yeah.
Where
it's not
like,
network
they
television.
all kind of just they're all the same. They're just all
Yeah.
But she's into that. No, she likes comedies. She likes silly humor. So it's she likes what else? But yes, she wouldn't know anything about the Bears if we were talking about it.
The same with my wife.
I will say that I have one story from when I was covering baseball or covering sports out in Arkansas. I was at a baseball game. And I called her. I said, I'll be home sometime. And I said, yeah, I'm at the Gosnell High School baseball game. And she goes, what quarter is it? Like, and I had it on speakerphone. So
immediately take it off course speakerphone and go to what the hell did you do? I don't have any idea.
One of the guys she worked with was there, so she heard about it that next week. So she knows enough.
Outstanding. All right, guys, let's go around the horn and say your final words, your plugs. Tell people what you're up to. Shout out to anybody. We'll start with you, Daniken.
Man, shout out to everybody that's here, in the chat, man. You guys had me cracking up laughing today with some of the stuff that you were saying. Somebody said something about Pete Carroll's breath would dehydrate them. I was cracking up laughing when I said it.
That's a dehydrate an apple.
I was dying laughing, man. You guys had us laughing. It's fun to have some interaction there. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you guys here, all four of you guys. Myself makes five, man. We do this thing. It's fun to do. Shout out to my guys, Three Kings of the Midway. And if you ever speak to my significant other, that about sports, this is how the conversation would go. I tweeted it, before, and I said, I just gave a synopsis of what the conversation was going like. I said, hey, the finals started today. It's a good game. You want to watch it? She said, I don't care about no kickball. I said, that's not what, and I didn't even get the rest of the sentence out. I just said, that's not what foosball, whatever, basketball, whatever it is, I don't care. So that's if you're wondering if that person loves sports, absolutely not interested, not one bit.
I always say to my wife when she's, you're watching the game and stuff, and I'm like, I'm watching because it's great drama. Yeah, the X's and O's and stuff is fun as part of it all, but it's the drama, and like last Sunday, all those games that came down to the end, the block kicks, the missed field goals, all that stuff. I mean, that was drama. My wife will sometimes sit down and watch, and she'll get sucked up into that drama too. I mean, I remember during the NFL draft when Brady Quinn was dropping out of the first round, she's like crying for him, and I go, I know why you're crying for him. He's a good guy.
Stop. A long time ago.
I loved Brady Quinn, man, when I was like 8.
Yeah, no, it ain't got it. But anyways, Tooch, what do you got? You got a weekend sports betting tip show this Friday?
Yep, Friday. Yeah, there was 6 blocked kicks in the NFL.
6, wow.
Last weekend. It was the first time ever in NFL history that had ever happened. So it was a wild day of NFL. Weekend sports betting tips. Of course, my free play was the Bears Bears and Cowboys at 38 points in the first half. The second half, they only scored 7, and it stayed under. Ridiculous. 38 points in the first half. It's in the bag, baby. Yeah.
What about Sunday? You got a show on Sunday, Barfly Tailgate?
Barfly Tailgate and fantasy football. Yep, before all the games. So tune in.
All right. Zim, what's going on in your life?
Yeah, man. Well, as long as we're talking about significant others and their relations to sports, my wife came to me the other day and had a realization And I loved it. She goes, I realized why I've been getting into the Bears so much and why I'm enjoying watching our son play football and going to the varsity games around town, all these things that I've talked about here on the show. She says, Stephen, I think I like football. I think I really like this sport. I think it's fun. And I was like, I'm telling you.
This is like the best episode. This is one of my top episodes. You're getting me right here with the converting to love of football.
It's just like, I told her straight up. I said, look, there's two kinds of people in this world, people who love football and people who don't understand the rules of the game. And it's literally that simple. If you understand the rules of the game, it's easy to like. It's literally just head to head. It's gladiator shit, but in today's rules. You get 4 tries to move the ball 10 yards. If you get it all the way down there, it's a touchdown and you score points. It's that easy. And yeah, she's really starting to love it, especially because our oldest is really starting to embrace the game. I thought he was going to be a cornerback. He missed the first couple days of practice because we were on vacation in Chicago. So what's the easiest position to learn? Edge rusher. Tackle that guy. That's your entire playbook. Go tackle that guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so they put him at edge rusher, and guess what? He's pretty freaking good at it because he's about 3 inches taller than everybody else in his league. So he just sticks his arm out and uses his muscle, and turns out I think I got an edge rusher on my hands when I thought I had a strong safety, man. Like things change quick, and it's so much fun to watch him develop. We're still going out to see him every week. His younger brother's starting to get into football too. So I think I got 2 of them on my hands now. His younger brother is built a little more like me though, so I don't know if he'll quite be tall enough to get that edge, but we'll see where he decides to play. Well, that's the other thing. If he is like me, he'll be able to run, so he'll be a slot and or running back. So cool. At any rate, it's becoming a family affair. It's so much fun. So a big shout out to my wife, Brittany, who's been on the show and might come on again soon. We'll see what happens. And to my boys who are really starting to love the game, embrace it, understand why it's so fun. And to continue on the point about what makes it so fun, it's the live drama of it. You talk about drama. Yeah, that's one aspect, but it's the other fact that it's live and it's the finality of it. And Cliff, I have disappointing words for you. He says, as long as it isn't flag football, it is flex football. For those of you who aren't aware, it is a step in between flag and tackle football. So he's played flag football up until now. To me, it's very important to learn the game before you learn to tackle, because otherwise you're worried about injury management before you actually understand the game, right? So understanding the game comes first, then understanding how to tackle. So flex football is a combination of the two, where it's full pads, full blocking, full speed, full contact, except there's no tackling. Pulling a flag is the equivalent of tackling the ball carrier. So it's mostly just to teach the kids how to get in position, how to make the blocks, how to take an angle before they go full speed.
Very cool.
He will be playing tackle next year. I will say that, but I think it's a natural learning progression for these kids where you can teach them the sport without worrying about their brains at 8 years old. At any rate, no, it's become, like I say, a full family affair. The live drama, the live finality of it all is so real that you only have like these 60 minutes to make it count. And that live competition just can't be beat. So I've dragged on way too long about all this. You guys know me.
That's good, man. That's real stuff right there.
I'll take the longest drink for the shortest drink of water, or the longest walk for the shortest drink of water, guys. So cut me off whenever you're ready. But thank you guys so much for all of this.
Vince, what do you want to plug? Your YouTube channel? Anything else, brother?
Yeah. First shout out obviously to the Wiener Circle. Did a great job yesterday handling all the hot dogs. I don't know how many they gave out, but they did a great job with that. Shout out to the banquet hall I was at in Maryville, Indiana. Avalon Banquet Sunday. Had a really good chicken cutlet dinner. So I just had to sometimes you don't know what you're getting with wedding food, but it was really good. And also just check out all my videos on my YouTube channel at Fitzmagic Shy. Like and subscribe it, and shout out to the four of you. Another great show. Thanks for letting me be a part of this.
Hey, Fitz, do you already have plans as to your next restaurant?
I have an idea in mind what I'm aiming to get to, but like every week, if it happens, sometimes I don't like to commit to one place, but I'm looking at towards the South Side place. I've done a few up on the north side of town recently, so I'm gonna try to get back to the south side. And
can you give us a hint about the type of cuisine it is, so I can make sure I have appropriate snacks?
If I get to the one place, it's going to be burgers.
Okay.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah, I keep it simple. I'm pretty predictable there. So.
Yeah, I tweeted a place that fits that this past week or whatever, and they answered too. The Peace Pizzeria.
Oh, Peace, yes. Yeah, they're a good place.
That's one. Hopefully, get a little Fitzo meter on that one.
Yeah, I gotta get over there. I've been there. It's delicious.
Okay.
I have never done a review there, so.
All right.
Aldo, you ever eat there before, Aldo?
Never.
Oh man.
Not that I remember.
That's the best pizza I ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
Peace.
Okay. Where are they at?
It's a tall statement.
Okay. Have to
It's a
check
tall
it out.
statement, Tooch. You're fucking old. So.
Well, I know. It is the best.
Wait a minute.
Hey, just a real quick question about food. Have you guys ever been to a place called Doc's?
Yeah, Doc's Fish.
Yeah.
Yes, yummy.
My son's been going there a lot.
I haven't been there in so long, man. I often think about Doc's. Man.
I get it. Yeah. Doc's is very
I'm
good.
sad. Yeah, I'm sad now.
I wonder if they have one out in Schaumburg or out there. Do they have one out in the suburbs?
I've never heard of it.
I'm wondering if my son's been texting me as I'm at Doc's eating fish with his girlfriend. I don't know if
I gotta go to Chicago.
they have another.
I know where I'm going to right now. I'm going over to microwave and throwing some popcorn in. All right, everybody. I just want to let people know today is Wednesday. So we're back on the air Friday, I believe, with the Willis Twin Towers. Before that, of course, it's Weekend Sports Betting Tips with Johnny Santucci. Best way to stay on top of stuff is to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're also a subscriber to Three Kings in the Midway, to Fitzmagic on YouTube, and our Twitter handles are on the screen. You people listening on audio podcasts, look for Raging Bear Fan on X, at John Santucci VIP on X, at Danikin DANIKIN_DG3, and at Chief Seats 411 for Fitz and me. Of course, I am at the Barroom Network. Thank you all for the people who joined us live. Really appreciate it. Keith, thank you for the donation. And for those people listening on audio podcasts and on demand on YouTube, really appreciate it as well. Please retweet it, share it with your friends and family. We will appreciate that very much. So for the gang you see on the screen, my name is Aldo Gandia. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.